Play some basketball.
The NBA playoffs.
Yes!
And only one team covers all the angles with more highlights, sound bites.
That's awesome.
And all pro insights.
You bet.
Fox Sports News Primetime, nightly at 10. This is Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Monday night, Mac led the cheers as the Rangers celebrated an extra inning win. And last night, it's Mac who leads the late inning attack. Rangers try for another sweep next. It's time for Wednesday afternoon baseball at the ballpark in Arlington, the finale of this three-game series and the finale of this six-game homestand. It's the Western Division leading Texas Rangers taking on the Kansas City Royals. And we welcome you to Texas Rangers baseball this afternoon here on Fox Sports Net Southwest. Bill Jones along with Tom Grieve. A good pitching matchup this afternoon, Tom.
Real good pitching matchup. Kevin Apier for Kansas City is 6-2 on the season. He's undefeated in the month of May. In his last 5 starts, he has pitched terrific. His ERA is under 2. Aaron Seeley, after a good couple of starts to start the season, has struggled, especially in the month of May. Opponents are hitting .339 against Aaron. He won his last start. Maybe that'll be a springboard to a good game today.
Well, the Rangers look to make it 9 straight wins. There have been all sorts of reasons to celebrate over the last 8 days. Can they make it 9 in a row? The lineups and first pitch when we come back on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Baseball isn't measured by time. It's measured by desire. The game moves toward the end, fueled by sweat and blood. And what matters then isn't how long it took to get there, but whether or not you have the stuff you need to finish it off.
Imagine if people could just order things online, and out they came. Into their homes. Into their offices. Well, maybe someday. But today, the best way to get stuff off the web is UPS. In fact, UPS delivers more e-business shipments than anyone else. So to ship from the virtual world, rely on the same people you rely on in the real world. UPS, moving at the speed of e-business.
For the 1% of the world that expects more from a truck, there's the all-new GMC Sierra. Completely redesigned with the first ever standard 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes on a half-ton pickup and our largest cab ever. 1%ers, your wait is over. Come in now during the National Sierra Invitation Days. It's your chance to make comparisons, not compromises.
Now I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer, I couldn't lie if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing.
Iowa Sound. You gotta hear this.
Yeah, there's a pecking order in cars. You know, you have your big luxury cars, and then you have your fancy sports cars, and then you have your fancy sports luxury cars, and then you have your sport utility vehicles, and then you got me. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I still get Chevron with Techron.
Every car deserves Chevron with Techron.
I got 4 wheels just like the rest of them.
Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Texas Rangers. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, "Hey, beer man." And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, helping you play longer and stronger when it counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you? Game number 52 of the 99 American League season for the Texas Rangers. Macklemore and Tom Goodwin, the pregame ritual for them. And McLemore continues it with others. Napoleon and Nairn, the coaches, Dick Bosman as well. Everybody in on the act on the McLemore pregame ritual as the Rangers get set to take on the Royals, looking for a 3-game sweep. And here is the Southwest Airlines lineup for Kansas City. Carlos Beltran leading off in center field, followed by Ray Sanchez, the shortstop, and Johnny Damon, .360 in his career against this afternoon starter for Texas. Mike Sweeney, the DH, is the cleanup man. Jermaine Dye in right field, and Joe Randa bats 6th at third base. Scott Leyes at first base will hit 7th. Steve Scarsoni at second base bats 8th, and Tim Spear, the catcher, hits 9th for Tony Muser. Defensively for Texas, Greer, Goodwin, and Gonzalez in the outfield. Zeal and Stevens on the corners in the infield, with Shave and McLemore up the middle. It's Greg Zahn spelling Pudge behind the plate with an afternoon game after a night game. And Aaron Seeley is on the mound, Tom.
Aaron Seeley 4-4 on the season, tied for 8th in the American League with 50 strikeouts. He has struggled against right-hand hitters. Opponents hit .339 against Aaron. Right-hand hitters .385. In May, he's 1-3. His last start, he beat Minnesota 6-4. Pitched into the 7th inning and pitched pretty well in that game. Rangers looking for much of the same today against Kansas City.
Facing Carlos Beltran to lead things off, and it is a first pitch strike to Beltran, the center fielder for Kansas City. Beltran, Sanchez, and Damon for the Royals. And a ball and a strike. Happy you could join us this afternoon here on Fox Sports Net Southwest as the Rangers have won 8 consecutive games, looking for their 3rd consecutive 3-game sweep. But Beltran is aboard. It's a base hit the other way. And the Royals with an early base runner off Aaron Seeley. Beltran, the runner at first base, and he had a stolen base in last night's game. As Seeley will now work to Ray Sanchez, who hit 9th in the first 2 games of this series. He's moved up into the number 2 spot this afternoon. Bunts it third base side. Zeal up and throwing, and the sacrifice moves the runner along to second.
Good bunt by Ray Sanchez. He's actually bunting for a base hit, hopes he can beat it out, and if he doesn't, then it counts as a sacrifice bunt. He doesn't really square around as you would for a sacrifice bunt. He drags it down the third baseline. Todd Zeal anticipated that possibility, though, and he was playing in on the grass. Got a good jump on the ball and made the play at first base.
So 1 down, 2nd sacrifice bunt of the season for Sanchez, and here's the number 3 hitter, Johnny Damon. Damon hitting .284 on the season, and that one's in there for a strike. 0-1. 6 home runs and 29 RBIs for Damon. His 4th full year with Kansas City. Beltran with speed at second base, and Seeley with the 0-1 pitch. 4 balls and 2 strikes. Dale Scott behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Inside corner for Seeley. Seeley ahead in the count, and the 0-2 hit to McLemore on a couple of hops. The doctor of defense makes the play. Moving to third is Beltran. There are 2 outs in the first. Well, don't you think one of the keys for Seeley this afternoon, and for Kevin Apier for that matter, in this heat and how humid it is here in Texas in an afternoon game, is to keep that pitch count down?
Yeah, everybody on the field defensively wants to get off the field as soon as they can. And so that becomes important for the pitcher to throw strikes, get some quick outs, and get his team off the field. It's pretty comfortable in the dugout, in the tunnel. It's cool down there. It's warm out on the field.
This is Mike Sweeney, the cleanup man, as the Royals have go-ahead run 90 feet away here in the first inning. 1-0 to Sweeney. And that's in there for a strike. 1-1. It has been one of the problems for Aaron Seeley in some of his starts this season. He has had a high pitch count early in some games. There was a start earlier this season in which he had 70 pitches in the first 3 innings of a game. that one hits him. So on the 1-1 pitch, Sweeney is hit with the pitch. And the Royals have runners at the corners. 2 outs for Jermaine Dye.
Part of Aaron's game plan is to throw the fastball in to both left-hand hitters and right-hand hitters. Sometimes you get it a little too far in. That keeps the hitters honest as far as hitting his curveball, which really is his bread and butter pitch.
3rd hit batter of the season for Seeley. And here is Dye. 297 is the average for the Royal right fielder. Has an RBI opportunity here. 33 runs batted in on the season. Seeley misses away 1-0. Well, late in last night's game, a couple of hit batters led to the Ranger rally in the 8th inning, as Matt Wisenen walked a man and then hit consecutive batters, loading the bases with no outs, and McLemore came through with what turned out to be the game-winning 2-run single. 1-1 to Dye. Rangers at 11 games over 500, 31-20 on the season. And Dye over his last 19 games has been a hot hitter. Accumulated much of those numbers a couple of weeks ago when he was the American League Player of the Week. Hit over 600 in 1 week. It's 2-1 to Dye. Dye spent a lot of time in the minor leagues last year. He was up and down between the Royals and AAA Omaha a year ago. Here's the 2-1, and it's grounded at Shea. A underhand over to McLemore for the force at second. Royals leave 2 men on in the first. The Rangers hit when we come back on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Just look at that steak. Welcome to the old San Francisco Steakhouse and the fabulous Barbary Coast. Come in and enjoy the fun, the twin pianos, and that famous girl on the red velvet swing. The most incredible, mouth-watering steak you've ever tasted. There's fresh fish, prime rib, succulent lobster, and shrimp. For great food, great fun, for a great escape. Come on over to the old San Francisco Steakhouse.
See you tonight! Welcome back. To the distinguished list of places known as meccas for the sports fan, we now add La Quinta. Okay, now here's your basic fan. Freeze it right there. Notice how the 25-inch TV is a perfect viewing distance from both the bed and recliner. That's a well-designed play. Plush carpet and high ceilings offer adequate room for victory dances, and you can still option the Nintendo right here. Rooms designed for the sports fan. One more reason I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
Our young wildebeest is no match for a pack of hungry hyenas.
Oh, no. No. What are you doing? Give me the bag. Your stance is all wrong. Check this out. Come to Papa.
The Saturn wagon. With easy to maintain, dent-resistant doors.
Woo. Good pitch. I'll see you guys later.
Bottom of the first inning at the ballpark in Arlington, and the Southwest Airlines lineup for Texas looks this way with that man, Tom Goodwin, leading off in center field. And he has been hot the last 9 games. Mark McLemore bats second at second base. Rusty in left field hits third. Juan, the cleanup man, in right field. And Rafi, the DH, will bat fifth. Todd Zeal at third base hits 6th this afternoon. Lee Stevens at first base hits 7th. It's Greg Zahn, the number 8 hitter, catching, and John Shave hitting 9th and playing shortstop in there for Royce Clayton. Defense for Kansas City, Damon Beltran and Dye in the outfield with Randa and Sanchez on the left side. Scarsoni in there for Fabulous again, and Leas is at first base. Tim Spear behind the plate, and Kevin Apier, the veteran, is on the mound.
Kevin Apier has been pitching extremely well. In his last 5 starts, he's 4-0 with a microscopic ERA of 1.12. His last start was probably his worst start of those 5. And he pitched well in that game. He beat the Angels 11-4, pitched 6 innings, gave up 8 hits and 3 runs. Well, he's been on a good roll. A lot of talk that pennant contending teams have been looking at Kevin Apier. Will the Royals trade him? Just a matter of time, people say. Right now, he's making it easy for the Royals by pitching as well as he is. The interest should probably be at its peak right about now.
Facing Tom Goodwin, infield grounder, and Scarsoni makes the play, and Goodwin is the first out in the first inning. Let's take a look at the Geico Direct player profile, and it concerns the starter for Kansas City this afternoon, Kevin Appier, and this is his 11th major league season. Pitcher of the year for the Royals, 3 years. And he is annually the opening day starter for Kansas City, it seems like. 111 career wins and tied for 4th on the all-time Royals list. Here's McLemore. A strike 0-1. Mac at 321 after getting the clutch hit in the 8th inning last night. He was 1 for 3 in last night's game. Appier misses with that one, 1-1. Appier missed almost all of the 1998 season after having shoulder surgery on March 24th last year. Was activated in September and said in spring training this year that he feels better this year than he has in years. And he is showing it with his performance, especially in the month of May. May, a 363 earned run average. 2-1 to McLemore. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Appier is a fierce competitor on the mound. You know, when he takes the ball, he has business on his mind. He doesn't throw as hard as he used to. His fastball occasionally might touch 90 now. It used to be in the low 90s. And he still has a hard slider and a great split finger pitch and that good competitiveness out on the mound that makes him still a top pitcher.
3-2 to McLemore. Appier with 22 walks on the season, but in the month of May, just 7 walks issued by Kevin Appier and 21 strikeouts. So he walked a lot in the first month of the season and has cut down on the walks of late. 3-2 to Mac. And this one is popped behind second base. Sanchez, the shortstop, makes the play. And 2 up, 2 down for the Rangers here in the first inning. And that'll bring Rusty to the plate. Well, the Rangers doing it in the late innings the last 4 games, winning in their final at bat. Rusty has made a habit of coming up with clutch hits, of course, in his career, but it's been a team-wide thing of late. Seems like there's a different hitting hero every night. One 1-0 to Rusty here. Last night it was McLemore with the game-winning hit. The night before, Lee Stevens had the tying home run, and Juan Gonzalez had the game-winning hit in the 10th inning. Juan hoping to get a chance here if Rusty can get on in the first inning. And it's 2-1. There's Rudy Jaramillo, the hitting coach for the Rangers. Last night after the game, Johnny Oates, tongue-in-cheek like, was saying, Rudy, let's get those hitters going a little earlier in games. Not sure if the heart can take this. A swing and a miss, 2-2. That's one of the impressive things, though, about this streak is the good pitching that the Rangers have got. Appier against Greer, the numbers in the career, 3-2. On this homestand, in fact, the most runs the Rangers have scored in a game was 6. They beat Minnesota in the first game of the homestand 6-4. Since then, most runs scored in a game 4. And Rusty is aboard. There's a walk issued by Appier and a 2-out base runner for the Rangers here in the first.
In fact, Appier tried to get Rusty to swing at a bad pitch. He'll get hitters to swing at a lot of bad pitches with his slider and his splitter, which he does a great job of keeping down and out of the strike zone. He has a deceptive delivery, which makes it difficult for hitters to lay off the pitch. With 3 balls and 2 strikes, there's a splitter, breaks down sharply, but Rusty's able to take it. A lot of times in counts where the hitter's looking for a fastball, when they get that splitter, they're so geared up to hit the fastball they can't lay off it.
314 the average for Juan. 13 home runs, 46 runs batted in. And Napier misses with the first one, 1-0. 6 home runs in his last 13 games and 19 runs batted in during that time. And 10 home runs in the month of May. 12 of his 13 home runs have come since April 30th. The 1-0 to Gonzalez. To right field, dive. Has it. That does it for the Rangers in the first. We're scoreless through 1 at the ballpark.
Fox Sports Net Southwest.
I'd like to tell you about a local rent-a-car company. It's called Hertz. I know, great big Hertz at the airport, that's what you're thinking. But this is Hertz Local Edition, and we're right here in town with several convenient locations. So, your car's in the shop, or you just need one for the weekend, call us. We'll come right over and pick you up. I know, you want to know about our rates. Well, pick up the phone, let us surprise you.
All over San Antonio, the war against high prices rages on.
Dealers are blowing each other apart, fighting for your business.
And above it all is Red McComb Superior Hyundai.
Where price is no longer an obstacle.
Red McComb Superior Hyundai obliterates the price barrier. 99 accent with AM/FM cassette and more, just $97.99. Red McComb Superior blasts the competition. 99 Sonata with electric everything, just $15,699. Red McComb Superior, now with explosive Hyundai deals. Red McComb Superior Hyundai, Northwest Loop 410 between Callahan and Everest.
A child who is prepared for kindergarten will have better self-esteem, will participate more in class, will make better grades, will be less likely to be tempted by gangs or drugs, will be more likely to go to college or to get a better job. A child who is prepared for kindergarten will be better prepared for life. Every child deserves a smart start. Don't leave it to chance. Call 65-SMART.
Second inning at the ballpark. Aaron Seeley, after the Royals left 2 men on in the first inning, working to Joe Randa in a 0-0 game. Randa, Leas, and Scarsoni for the Royals here in the second inning. Randa stepping out. Joe Randa hitting 6th in the order this afternoon after hitting 2nd in last night's game. And it is 2-0. Average has dipped below 250 now. Rangers, 3 pitchers last night combined on a 3-hitter. So he's hit to right center, and over is Gonzalez. He makes the play. 1 down in the second. Rangers' second annual girls softball camp will be held June 21st through the 24th at the Dr. Pepper Youth Ballpark, right next door to the ballpark in Arlington. The camp features 4 days of professional softball instruction for girls aged 7 to 15. Call Metro 817-273-5869. 273-5869 for more information on the Rangers' second annual girls softball camp, June 21st through the 24th. Scott Leas seeing his first action in this series. And there's a strike, 1-1. Leas getting an opportunity to play first base after the retirement of Jeff King. Larry Sutton started at first the first 2 games of this series. But it's Leas this afternoon. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Rangers have matched the second longest winning streak in club history with 8 in a row. They've done it 4 other times in franchise history, most recently 1989. But the most wins in Ranger club history. Came in May of 1991, and what a streak that was. 14 games in a row. McLemore back on the outfield grass, gets Leyes. And there are 2 outs in the second.
Yeah, that was an amazing streak because the pitching really wasn't that great that year. The team was pounding the ball, using a lot of guys out of the bullpen. When that streak was over, the pitching staff was pretty much worn out.
In a row in May of '91. The winning streak right now matches the longest winning streak in the majors this season. Zeal gets Scarsone. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals in the second inning. Scoreless through an inning and a half.
Hey, beer mime. Coors Light. Are you scared? Nervous? Crowds make you nervous. Beer's cold. Because it's frost brewed. Okay, got it. You're climbing a ladder. No, you're climbing a mountain. Oh, yeah, because it's born in the Rockies. And delivered by mines. That's very funny. That's very funny. Just give me the beer. Check this out. Keep the change.
What's a 7-letter word for skull?
Jeff, you do this to me every Sunday. Why don't you read the front page for once? Explore the travel section, check the TV listings, or clip a coupon for Pete's sake. You might actually learn enough to do the crossword on your own someday. You worthless waste of a cranium.
Cranium? How do you spell that?
Take Sunday one section at a time with the Dallas Morning News.
To the 1% of you who demand more from a truck, we offer this response. The all-new GMC Sierra. Totally redesigned with the first available automatic 4-wheel drive on a pickup and our largest cab ever. 1%ers, your wait is over. Right now, it's even easier to experience the pickup with the first available automatic 4-wheel drive in its class. The National Sierra Invitation Days, going on now.
Watch Fox Sports News for all the latest on your Stars as they march toward Lord Stanley's Cup. The latest highlights, scores, and more.
Fox Sports News Primetime, nightly at 10.
Rangers and Royals here at the ballpark, and let's look ahead. The Coors Light upcoming TV games. On to Phoenix after this at the Diamondbacks, the Friday night and Sunday night games on KXTX 39, and Saturday night we're here on Fox Sports Net Southwest. And then it's on to Dodger Stadium after that, Monday and Tuesday on 39 in the Metroplex, and Wednesday night 1 week from tonight on Fox Sports Net Southwest. Interleague play commences on Friday. Here's Rafael Palmeiro. One and 0. In fact, we talked about that longest winning streak for the Rangers back in 1991. Of course, Rafael Palmeiro was on the Ranger team. He was talking about that after the game last night and how he thinks this one is more impressive for the same reason that what you said, Tom, is that the Rangers weren't getting the pitching during that hitting streak. Of course, it was impressive from a hitting standpoint, winning 14 in a row. But for the long term, this can mean big things for the Rangers if the pitching remains turned around like it has over the last week or so.
To really win a lot of games, well over 90 games, you have to have good pitching. The greatest offense in the world can't win many more than 90 games because sooner or later during the course of a season you're going to go into some slumps where you don't score many runs. You have to be able to win the low scoring games as well as the high scoring games.
It's a 4-pitch walk to Palmeiro, and to underscore what you had said earlier about how the Rangers during that 14-game winning streak in '91 used the bullpen up throughout the streak. They turned around 4 days later and started an 8-game losing streak after the 14-game win streak. That kind of tells the tale of that.
If you look at a team that's getting excellent pitching in a winning streak, you look at that team and say there's no reason why they can't continue to play this way for a long time, if not for the whole season, as long as the staff stays healthy. When you looked at that streak, you just got a feeling that It's just a matter of time before the streak ends and possibly a bad one starts, because there just really was no pitching at all. And the hitters were playing great, but no team can sustain that kind of offense throughout the whole season. You can come up with huge numbers at the end, but to get to those huge numbers, it's not a steady 7 runs a game. It's 14 one day and 1 or 2 the next.
Jermaine Dye on the run takes that one away from Todd Zeal in right center field. And there's 1 out in the 2nd inning.
Todd got a pitch he could handle and rifled it into the gap. Jermaine Dye with long looping strides, covers a lot of ground out there, and he's become a very good right fielder, playing every day. The last couple of years he's spent a significant amount of time each year in Omaha, the AAA team of the Royals, trying to establish himself as an everyday player, and he seems as though he has done that and more this year, defensively and offensively.
Oh, 0-1 to Stevens, who's at 318. Rangers with a man on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, trying to break through against Kevin Appier. And Stevens fouls that one over the Ranger dugout. 0-2. Stevens hitting over 320 his last 10 games. And did not get a hit in last night's game, and that snapped a 9-game hit streak. Very quietly, Stevens had put together the 9-game hit streak, which kind of got lost in the shuffle with the hit streak that Pudge Rodriguez has been on. Rodriguez out of the lineup this afternoon, but with a 20-game hit streak right now, which is a career high for him. 1-2 to Stevens. There is Pudge. Rodriguez had a stolen base in last night's game. Greg Zahn awaits on deck. And a swing and a miss by Stevens. First strikeout for Appier is the 2nd out here in the 2nd inning.
Like a high fastball out of the strike zone. Lee doesn't want to swing at it, but he commits himself and can't lay off. Can't stop the swing.
Tried to hold up in mid-swing, but all the way through. 2 down with a runner on at first, and here is Zahn. Zahn, the switch-hitting catcher. Thrown away for a ball, 1-0. Well, the game plan for Johnny Oates, using Pudge Rodriguez as interleague play starts on Friday, is that Rodriguez essentially will not have a day off until pretty much the interleague portion of the schedule is over. And Zahn comes through with a base hit, dumped into left field. So the Rangers with 2 on and 2 out here in the 2nd. Baseball Thursday coming up tomorrow night. It's the Cardinals and the Marlins. During the last Dodgers series, Mark McGwire became the 3rd player to hit the ball out of Dodger Stadium in its 38-year history. Tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Net Southwest, the Cardinals take on the Marlins. And here is John Shave. 2 on and 2 out. And it's bounced to short. Sanchez charges, throws across, and Shave is the 3rd out in the 2nd inning. Rangers leave 2 men on. They've left 3 on through 2 innings. 0-0 through 2.
Oh, it's pitching legend Wally Fingers. Yeah, and he's taking Billy Wagner under his wing. Here's the deal. If you're going to pitch against the Brewers, you're going to need a mustache to hide stuff in. Check this out. Look at this.
The Stros continue their rumble on the road as they go blow for blow with scrappy Milwaukee. Astros Brewers, tonight at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Or to really distract him. Whoa. Man.
Look what I found.
Play Defeat the Dark Side. Collect cool Star Wars game medallions and you could win cash prizes, even $1 million. Only at KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell.
For years, America's Diamond has stated that we stock the largest selection of certified diamonds in Texas. The average jewelry store stocks 5 or 6 half-carat diamonds. A large store will stock 10 or 15, and a big store 20 or 25. At America's Diamond, we stock over 500 half-carat diamonds, and virtually every one of them is certified by GIA or EGL. America's Diamond guarantees that our everyday manufacturer's prices are lower than the retail jeweler's very best sale prices, or will refund the difference plus 25%. See America's Diamond first to learn the basics of diamond grading.
Hi, I'm John Wetland. Watch me and the Rangers all season long on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
A scoreless game through 2 innings here at the ballpark in Arlington. The Royals have had a couple of opportunities against the Rangers, and likewise Texas against Kansas City starter Kevin Appier, but Aaron Seeley going into his 3rd inning of work now. Faces the 9-1 and 2 hitters for the Royals here. Tim Spear, Carlos Beltran, and Ray Sanchez. Royals have struggled on this road trip that started in Oakland, continued in Anaheim, and finishes up here in Texas. Won just 1 game on the road trip. A 1-7 record. Spear behind the plate this afternoon for Chad Kruder, who started the first 2 games of this series.
When you look at Kansas City's lineup earlier in the year when they were playing so well, they were getting good pitching, but they're also scoring a lot of runs. And even though they'll probably play a lot higher at a higher level than people expected them to throughout the course of a year, there will be some times where they do have trouble scoring runs. They don't have those proven run producers in the middle of the lineup, especially after Jeff King decided to retire. They've got some promising players, but they don't have anybody that's hit in the middle of a lineup and driven in a lot of runs that can kind of carry a team through a period of time. So they will struggle offensively. And that seems to be what they're doing right now.
Royals losing last night, scoring just 1 run and getting just 3 hits in the game. Spear gets the base hit through the right side, a ground single into right field. And there is the first base runner of the 3rd inning for Kansas City. This was Aaron Seeley against the Royals just over a year ago. He had 9 strikeouts against Kansas City and a 7-3 Ranger win over the Royals. It was a complete game for Aaron Seeley, giving up just 2 earned runs on 8 hits in 9 innings. Seeley has had some success against the Royals. Last year had 3 wins against Kansas City. Top of the order in Beltran. In there for a strike, 0-1. Beltran singled in the first. But the Royals last night, 1 run on 3 hits. In the 3 previous games, they scored just 3 runs in all 3 of those games, winning by identical 4-3 scores for 3 consecutive games before last night's 3-1 score. And yet just a couple of weeks ago, they had a series in Kansas City against the Athletics in which they outscored Oakland 34-7. So the runs came in bunches that week. That was Jermaine Dye's big week when he won the American League Player of the Week award. 1-2 to Beltran. And the Royals have now fallen down into 3rd place in the American League Central. They are 10 games behind the Cleveland Indians. Going back is Shave, and he makes the over-the-shoulder grab. There is the first out of the 3rd. And one problem that the Royals have had on this road trip is scoring runs early in ball games too.
And Shave with a nice little over-the-shoulder catch. He got it all the way.
We're in the 3rd inning of this one, and the Kansas City Royals are being shut out so far. This is the 9th game of this road trip, and they've scored just 3 runs in the first 3 innings of the 9 games. Ray Sanchez. Way upstairs, 1-0. Sanchez, originally drafted by the Rangers back in the 80s. Chad Kruder was a 5th-round pick for Texas back in 85. Also in 85, Sanchez went in the 13th round, and this is draft day today. I'll let you know what the Rangers are doing draft-wise is the sandwich picks between the 1st and the 2nd rounds. Kansas City with no less than 6 draft picks in the first 57 picks of this draft, including a couple of first-rounders.
Ray Sanchez was a young, very young shortstop when he first came into the Ranger organization. It seemed like he was always pushed to a level that was a little higher than where he should be. Yet at Port Charlotte, he was the 10th best prospect in that league, and then what turned out to be an ill-advised trade. He was traded to the Cubs for a minor league player whose name I can't even remember.
I can remember it. Brian House.
Brian House, little left-hand hitter.
You know why I can remember it?
You're probably looking at it.
The media guy.
You got it written down.
No relation to Tom House.
There were plenty of times when Ray Sanchez could have been used by the Rangers. I remember in particular the year that Benji Gill made the ball club out of A-ball when all the shortstops were hurt. It would have been nice to have had Ray Sanchez back then. He turned out to be a good, solid major league player. Very good defensive player, very good second baseman. On a real good team is an outstanding utility player who still has the ability to play on an everyday basis if the opportunity presents itself.
There goes the runner. Hit to the right side. McLemore fields and goes to first. A Spear is into second base. There are 2 outs in the 3rd.
Well, that was a hit and run, and Ray guessed wrong. Ray went the other way with it, hoping that McLemore would be the one covering second base. Turned out that John Shave was covering second base, and Mac was there to field the ground ball. If he had pulled the ball to shortstop, he would have had a base hit. But an inside-out swing, you can see Shave right on top of second base. That left the hole at shortstop. The Rangers outguessed Ray Sanchez on that hit and run. McLemore was able to make the play.
Johnny Damon, the hitter. And it is pretty much a guessing game on that, right?
Well, Billy Martin used to tell the hitters that hit the ball where it's pitched. Don't try to outguess the infielders because you don't really know for sure which one's going to be covering, and you can take away from your ability to hit the ball hard by trying to hit it someplace when the pitch doesn't lend itself to that. So he used to say if the pitch is away, hit it towards second base. If it's on the inside part of the plate, pull it toward shortstop. Hit it where you can get the best wood on the ball, where you can hit it with the most authority without worrying about who's going to cover. And I always thought that was the best advice. Otherwise, you can get a pitch that you really can't handle, and you try to do something with it that you can't do. You either swing and miss or hit a little weak ball. Sanchez hit that ball pretty well to shortstop. He's the kind of guy that can handle it to second base. He's the kind of guy that can handle the bat well. But the pitch was a good pitch to pull because it was an inside pitch.
3-1 to Damon. So as far as the decision as to who covers at second base, part of what goes into that might be what the scouting report is on a hitter, how a pitcher might pitch to a certain hitter.
Yeah, you have a scouting report on the hitter, and you know how the pitcher throws. Probably the key element is what kind of pitch it's going to be on that particular pitch. The shortstop and the second baseman see the catcher's signs, and they'll look at each other and make sure that each one knows what the pitch is and who's going to cover. In other words, if you're the shortstop and it's a right-hand hitter,
down the line in right,
and it's going to be a fast ball away, then chances are the hitter's going to hit it towards second base. So the second baseman and the shortstop would decide to have the shortstop hold. If you're a right-hand hitter and it's a slow curveball or a changeup, then chances are that the hitter's going to pull the ball towards shortstop. And on that pitch, the second baseman would cover. So it varies on a lot of factors. And I would think the primary factor would be what the pitch is and what location the pitcher wants to throw it.
3-2 to Damon, and there's the walk. So now the Royals with 2 base runners here in the 3rd with 2 outs. First walk given up by Seeley. Royals had 2 base runners with 2 outs in the first inning, with Jermaine Dye coming to the plate, and he hit a grounder to short. This time, it's the cleanup man Mike Sweeney coming to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Sweeney hit by a pitch his first time. Seeley misses with the first one, 1-0. Spears started the inning with a ground single through the right side. And after 2 outs, the walk to Damon. Seeley coming into this one with an even record, 4 wins and 4 losses. We're getting word on the Ranger draft picks, the top 2 picks in the draft, and we'll pass that along to you as soon as we have the information. The first player overall taken in the draft by Tampa Bay, the outfielder pitcher from North Carolina, Josh Hamilton, who plays right field. He can also throw a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and also he wears size 19 shoes. He could probably play some basketball too. With Josh Hamilton, the #1 overall pick by Tampa Bay. A high school player goes #1. And that is the first high school player to be selected #1 overall since Alex Rodriguez was taken by the Mariners. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Sweeney. In there for a strike, 2-1. In fact, there were a lot of high school pitchers or high school players expected to be taken in the first round of this year's draft. In fact, the second pick was the Texan Josh Beckett, going to the Florida Marlins. Right-handed pitcher Josh Beckett from Spring, Texas, goes #2 to the Marlins.
And you would think as years go on, with the money getting the way it is, well, we'll finish that thought later.
Shave makes the play to McLemore. Once again, the Royals leave 2 men on in the third. They've left 4 on through 3.
Imagine if people could just order things online, and out they came. Into their homes, into their offices. Well, maybe someday. But today, the best way to get stuff off the web is UPS. In fact, UPS delivers more e-business shipments than anyone else. So to ship from the virtual world, rely on the same people you rely on in the real world. UPS, moving at the speed of e-business.
It's been 1 full month since La Quinta superstar Sarah Hyland pulled a hammy chasing down a customer who'd forgotten his credit card. Let's check in on her rehab.
What can I say? Sarah's a warrior. She's here at the hotel pushing it every day. Laps in the pool, stationary bike, you know, some cardio work, followed by some hot and cold therapy. Tough kid, a lot of heart.
Dedicated employees and great facilities. 2 more reasons I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
If you love Major League Baseball, then you'll really love the Grand Slam gift shop at the ballpark in Arlington. Open year-round, the Grand Slam gift shop is the best place to find the perfect gift for your favorite baseball fan. Hats of all the Major League teams, jerseys of your favorite players, plus Ranger sportswear and memorabilia. Visit the Grand Slam gift shop at the ballpark in Arlington, and you'll take home a memory.
Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and noon to 5 on Sunday.
The Rangers on Fox Sports Net Southwest are brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by La Quinta Inns, and by Nations Rent. Back to the ballpark in Arlington. We are scoreless through 2.5 innings. Royals have left 4 men on base, and the Rangers have left 3 men on in the first couple of innings. Well, there's Chris Childs and son at the game. And And wife Emily is along too. It's a nice family outing. Chris Childs, one of the cameramen who is taking a day off to bring the family to the ballpark. Chris has spent a lot of time in front of the camera of late. He was, let's see, a couple of weeks ago, we showed Chris as he was working during a game with a tuxedo on right before the cystic fibrosis diamond ball that he was covering that night. And then here in the last week, he was really demonstrating a home run swing to Craig Miller on pregame show. One and one to Tom Goodwin here. Goodwin, McLemore, and Greer for Texas, the top of the order here in the third. Kevin Apier, he himself a former first-round draft pick. 1-2 out of Fresno State, and he is working to a Fresno State man in Tom Goodwin. And strike three called. Apier wins that battle of Fresno Staters. And there is the first out of the third. So Apier gets his second strikeout. And now he'll face Mark McLemore. Sharply hit it Leas at first base, and on one pitch McLemore is gone, and there are two outs here in the third inning. Well, those Power in the Park ticket packages are now on sale. The 15-game package features club level seats with weight service, food and beverage discounts in the Diamond Club, merchandise discounts in the Rangers gift shops, and a voucher for 2 free tickets to a September game. For more information, call Metro 817-273-5100. Power in the Park ticket packages on sale now. Here's Rusty. Apier starts him with a strike, 0-1. Greer walked in the first inning. He was stranded. Apier tries to come up with his first 1-2-3 inning. Rangers have not scored a run in this series against a Royals starting pitcher. Last night, Jay Watasic, 6 shutout innings, 4 hits. The night before, Jeff Sapon, 7 2/3 innings, no runs, 3 hits. So 13 2/3 innings, no runs, 7 hits coming into this one. And Apier on the first 2 2/3 without giving up a run. The Rangers have done is gotten to the Royal bullpen in the first 2 games of this series. 3-1 to Greer. Rusty has put up big numbers in his career against Kansas City, a .360 batting average. And Leas makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for the Rangers in the third. Still no score through 3 at the ballpark.
For hot summer road trips, make your first stop Sears Memorial Day Tire Sale. It lasts all week with incredible deals for whatever you drive. Save big on top brands like Michelin, Bridgestone, and Goodyear. Right now, Goodyear Weather Handler tires are an amazingly low 4 for $99. And Sears' low price guarantee for tires means we'll match anyone's advertised price. Before you hit the road, hit the Memorial Day Tire Sale at Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
To the 1% of you who ask more from a truck, we suggest the all-new GMC Sierra. Totally redesigned with our most powerful Vortec V8s ever. And a revolutionary towing system. 1%ers, your wait is over. Now the only pickup with an exclusive tow haul mode has something designed just to pull you in. The National Sierra Invitation Days, going on now.
To reduce your bill, call Geico Direct. Unless you believe in the car insurance fairy. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Still paying too much for car insurance? Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more.
Tee it up every week with Golf Texas as host Bill Worrell takes you on a tour of the state's finest courses with special guests, tips from the pros, and courses you'll want to play on your next golfing excursion. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Through 3 innings here at the ballpark, we are scoreless. We've seen this movie before. Last night, we were scoreless through the first 4 innings. Jermaine Dye leading things off against Aaron Seeley in the 4th.
One thing the Rangers have going for them in games like this is their bullpen. There's other teams with good bullpens, but not many teams that the Rangers play will have bullpens that are going as well as theirs is right now. If your starter can keep the game close through 5, 6, or 7 innings, the way the bullpen has been pitching, that gives the Rangers a great chance to come up with some runs late in the ball game and win a game. And they've been doing that during this streak. In fact, they've been doing it all year long, the way the bullpen has gone with Wetland and Zimmerman, Crabtree. Doing a great job. The other guys have been pitching in. Munoz, Venafro, Patterson. Everybody's doing a good job out there.
Bullpen has won their last 11 decisions, going all the way back to April 27th. It's the longest relief winning streak in club history, surpassing 10 consecutive wins back in 1977. You remember some of the guys in the bullpen in 1977.
Adrian Devine.
Yeah.
Steve Foucault might have still been with the club then.
Dye on the left field line. Rusty over, and Dye will hold on at first base. Rusty quickly over to cut it off, and it's a leadoff single by Jermaine Dye. Royals have had some base runners against Aaron Seeley this afternoon.
A bullpen with great numbers stands out even more nowadays than it did back in 1977. It's a lot more difficult to score runs in 1977 than it is right now. The pitching overall, statistically, but I stress statistically, was much better than it is today. When you've got a team putting up numbers like the Rangers are putting up out of the bullpen, it's even more impressive against the big-time lineups you see today.
In fact, the Rangers as a team in 1977 had 17 shutouts. You would assume
there won't be 17 shutouts this year in Major League Baseball, probably.
That's probably true.
Probably an exaggeration, but for one team to have 17 is amazing.
That is the Ranger record for most shutouts in a season, 17 in 1977. The Ranger pitchers. Slowly hit right side. McLemore goes to second and gets the force on the lead runner, Dye. Miranda is on at first base on the fielder's choice.
Good pitch by Aaron Seeley. Really jammed Randa. He hit a little weak ground ball to second base. There's a question whether Mac would go to first with it or get the lead runner at second, because it was going to be a close play right off the handle. And Mac does a nice job of getting the lead runner. What you worry about right here is Dye being in the way of John Shave, and he really was. Could easily have been hit by that ball. Everybody would have been safe.
Leyes to strike 0-1. Back at that 1977 team, Adrian Devine led the Rangers with 15 saves. Bert Blyleven had 15 complete games that season to lead the Rangers. Doyle Alexander was a 17-game winner. And Gaylord Perry was on that staff as well, logging a lot of innings, 238 innings.
I believe that was the year the Rangers had the most wins they've ever had. I think they had 90, was it 4 or 93 wins?
95, something in that range.
And still didn't come close to winning the pennant. The Rangers that year had a great streak in September where they won something like, say, 14 out of 19 games. The only problem was Kansas City was winning 19 out of 21 games and increasing their lead. So they had those great Royal teams, Amos Otis, Freddie Patek.
It was
Steve
94
Busby,
wins.
Dennis Leonard. 94 wins?
Yep, 94 wins.
I'm not sure how many Kansas City had that year, but it was close to 100. They had a good player at every position. Speed, defense, great pitching. Dan Quisenberry in the bullpen. John Mayberry hitting home runs. Hal McRae. Cookie Rojas at second base. And an outstanding team.
Well, the Rangers and Royals had a pretty good rivalry during those days, too. Two to Scott Leyes here.
In fact, Paul Splittorf, I believe, was one of their key pitchers, one of their broadcasters now. We're not doing the game today, but Paul was one of the lefties on that staff. Larry Gura. No soft touches in their rotation.
Those were the good old days for Kansas City baseball. Of course, it stretched on into the 80s as well. Runner is going at first base. A high throw by Zahn, and Randa is into second base. Joe Randa gets his 4th stolen base of the season.
He gets a pretty good jump, and it's a tough ball to throw. Zahn has to reach in and catch the ball and then bring it back to get it to his throwing hand, and that takes some time. And then his throw, knowing that he had to hurry it, was a little bit high.
Third base side, Zeal charges and makes the play to get Leyes.
Watching other catchers, other big league catchers, try to throw on tough pitches to throw on gives you even more appreciation when you watch how easy Pudge Rodriguez makes it look. Those same pitches are very difficult to throw. He makes them look easy.
Let's take a look at the Aflac trivia question. Name the 3 teams the Rangers have never had a trade with. Aflac insuring over 40 million people worldwide. 3 teams the Rangers have never had a trade with. Steve Scarsoni, the hitter. Low for a ball, 1-0. By the way, Tom, the Royals in 1977 had 102 wins.
Wow.
So they won by 8 games. The Rangers' best season record-wise, the 94 wins. You know how many games the Royals won in September of 1977?
I know they won 19 out of 21 during one stretch, so it's probably in the well in the 20s.
Unbelievable. They won 25 games in September of 77.
Wow. Because we were hanging right in there going into September. And they were just unbeatable.
They were 25-5 in September.
Wow.
Shallow center coming on is good one. It falls in front of him, and the Royals are on the board. And moving up to second base is Scarsoni. Steve Scarsoni accounted for the lone run in last night's game, and he comes through again, the 8th place hitter with the RBI single to center field, scoring Joe Randa. 1-0 Kansas City. Scarsoni filling in for Carlos Fabulous at second base, comes through at the plate.
Scarsoni reaches out for a pitch low and away, hits it off the end of the bat and just bloops it into center field. With 2 outs, the runner Joe Randa is going all the way. He doesn't have to wait to see if it's going to be caught. So Tom Goodwin in center field had a minimal chance to get him at the plate. In fact, very little chance at all, and probably would have been better off throwing to second base. With the throw going over the cutoff man's head, that allows Scarsoni to take second base on the throw and be in scoring position with 2 outs.
And Tim Spear, the hitter now. So that a lot like Scarsoni's hit in last night's game. That was a double into the left field corner. That came with 2 outs and on a 3-2 pitch. And so the runner at first base, Chad Kruger, was able to take off on the pitch to the plate and was able to score all the way from first. Otherwise, if it hadn't been a 3-2 pitch and he hadn't been in motion on the pitch, he probably would not have scored all the way from first. But Scarsone gets his 4th RBI this afternoon. That was his first extra base hit of the season in last night's game. And he gets the single and goes to second on the throw here. This one is past Zeal down the left field line. And Scarsone will score the 2nd run. Tim Spear, the number 9 hitter, has his 2nd double of the season and gets his 11th RBI.
It's hard to tell, but chances are that Scarsone wouldn't have scored from first base on this ball. Would have been close. And chances are that the throw from the outfield that allowed him to take second base also led to the 2nd run. Would have been close.
So 2-0 Kansas City, and here's Beltran. Takes away for a ball, 1-0. And 2-0 to Beltran, who had a single back in the first inning and popped to short his last time. Beltran has struggled a bit of late. The average is at 289 this at bat. They're 2-0. And it finds the strike zone, 2-1. Royals now with 5 hits in the game. The Rangers with 1. Beltran leading American League rookies in home runs with 7. Gabe Kapler of the Tigers, who has spent some of this season in the minor leagues, has 6 home runs right now. And it's now 3-1. Seeley here in the 4th inning is over 70 pitches now. He's having to throw a lot of pitches here in the 4th. In fact, this is the 25th pitch of the 4th inning for Aaron Seeley. 3-2. Jermaine Dye started the inning with a single. Randa grounded into a fielder's choice and stole second. And with 2 outs, Scarsone gets the bloop single to center, and Spear follows with the RBI double. Seeley gets the strikeout of Beltran to end the 4th. Through 3.5, the Royals have broken through first. It's 2-0 KC.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance.
One of the reasons we're able to charge 20 to 30% less for many of the same designer suits and sport coats that department stores carry is because of the number of them we sell a year. It's well over 1 million, which is why we can purchase designer clothing from manufacturers for less than other stores. And that's the price we charge you. Well, almost.
The Men's Warehouse.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
1-800-776-SUIT.
A child who is prepared for kindergarten will have better self-esteem, will participate more in class, will make better grades, will be less likely to be tempted by gangs or drugs, will be more likely to go to college or to get a better job. A child who is prepared for kindergarten will be better prepared for life. Every child deserves a smart start. Don't leave it to chance. Call 65-SMART.
This is Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Here on Fox Sports Net Southwest, it's Texas Rangers baseball. The Rangers have to battle from behind against the Kansas City Royals this afternoon. Kevin Napier, the veteran, on the mound. No runs on 1 hit through 3 innings so far. And the Royals break through for a couple in the top half of this inning. Gonzalez, Palmeiro, and Zeal coming up for Texas here in the fourth. So Rangers try to make it a 9-game winning streak this afternoon, closing out this homestand. Gonzalez flied to right field his first time, leading things off against Apier here. First pitch downstairs for a ball, 1-0. Rangers select a couple of pitchers in the draft with their first 2 selections. Rangers had the 38th overall selection. The sandwich pick between the first and second round. No first round pick for Texas. And the first player the Rangers take, a right-handed pitcher from Bakersfield College in Bakersfield, California, Colby Lewis, 6'5", 180-pounder. 108 strikeouts in 88 innings for Colby Lewis this season for Bakersfield College. Gonzalez to center field. Beltran back a few steps, makes the play. And there's 1 out in the fourth. And here are the pitches to Mr. Gonzalez.
There weren't a lot of them, but we're going to see them. Kevin Apier pitching very well today. He's only given up 1 hit. Slider down and away for a ball. Fastball he misses in. 2 balls, no strikes. Juan gets a pretty good pitch to hit. Fastball out over the plate. He gets underneath it and pops it up to center field. Apier fell behind. 2 balls and no strikes. Came in with a fastball and Juan popped it up to center field.
Here's Palmeiro, 1-0. Palmeiro fouls that one back. Rangers also had the 47th overall pick in the draft, and they selected another right-handed pitcher, Michael Meade, a high school pitcher from Saudi Daisy, Tennessee, located near Chattanooga. Another 6'5", 180-pounder, just like Colby Lewis. 61 strikeouts in 41 innings this spring for the high school pitcher Michael Meade, Saudi Daisy, Tennessee.
You ever been there?
Never been there. Have you?
Nope. I don't think so. I've been to Tennessee, but I don't know if I've been to Saudi Daisy or not.
Chattanooga? Michael Meade's probably seen the Chattanooga Lookouts play. 3-1 to Palmeiro. Rangers were without a first-round pick after signing Rafael Palmeiro. The first-round pick went to the Baltimore Orioles as compensation for the signing of Palmeiro in the offseason. But the Rangers had 2 sandwich picks between the first and second rounds because the Rangers lost Todd Stottlemyre in free agency, so they received the Colby Lewis pick for Arizona's signing of Stottlemyre, and they get the pick that they take Michael Meade with, the 47th overall pick, because Baltimore signed Will Clark.
I think eventually in the near future they're going to do away with the sandwich picks, do away with compensation for free agents, and allow teams to trade draft choices. It just makes a lot of sense. Nowadays most of the compensation picks are going to teams that don't need them anyway.
And for the Aflac trivia question, we asked you the question earlier, name the 3 teams the Rangers have never had a trade with. And the answer, Tampa Bay, Arizona, and Colorado.
What happens with the compensation picks is most of the guys that become free agents on good teams who have high payrolls. And what you have is the high payroll teams are losing guys to free agency that they didn't want to sign anyway in a lot of cases, and getting the extra compensation for it. You get 2 draft choices for good players. You get the compensation pick at the end of the first round, and you get the other team's either first or second round pick depending on where they're picking in the draft. So you lose a free agent and get 2 players. Other teams, the lower teams as far as payrolls go, most of those teams are trading those kind of guys and trying to get something for them before they become free agents. And the draft has really evolved away from the original intent, which was to allow the lesser teams, the worst teams in baseball, to replenish their minor league system through the draft. Nowadays, because of signability, a lot of the top players aren't picked by the worst teams because they can't afford to sign them.
Strikeout Azil. There's 2 outs in the 4th. Todd with a question for home plate umpire Dale Scott.
The reason you can't trade draft choices is because of the compensation issue. You can't trade, for instance, your first-round pick next year because you may lose it for signing someone else's free agent. And therefore, it's not your pick to begin with when it comes right down to it. If they do away with the compensation for losing free agents, that issue disappears, and then you can trade draft picks. And I think that would really facilitate a lot of trades. Nowadays, it's hard to decide sometimes on who a player will be in a trade when you look at minor league players. But if a team could get say a 5th-round draft choice for a modest player, that would be an easier way to make a trade.
Stevens fouls it off right side. But that's true. You really don't know whether you have a first-round pick or not until after the next free agency signing period is over with.
Yeah, the only way you know you have a first-round pick is if you're picking in the top half of the draft. Then you can't lose your first-round pick, but you could lose your second-round pick. So you couldn't trade your second-round pick, but you don't know that until later on. So I think they'd be a lot better off doing away with that compensation issue.
0-1 to Stevens. Around on this one. Right field corner's where it's headed. Palmeiro to third. He'll put on the brakes there. Rangers have 2 in scoring position. $16 doubles on the year for Big Lee Stevens.
He rips this ball. A little leg kick. Rips it down the right field line. Dye makes sure that he fields the ball off the wall. He's got the good, strong arm, and he hits the cutoff man and keeps Raffy at third base.
So runners at second and third, and Greg Zahn is getting the start for Rodriguez this afternoon. Looped a single into shallow left field his last time. Had 2 hits in his last start on Sunday afternoon against Minnesota. Rangers could use another hit from Zahn right here. Zahn with the Florida Marlins last year.
Another reason for trading draft choices is one of the teams that's a low market team may not have the money to sign a top draft pick. Let's say you're picking 5th in the draft and it's going to cost you whatever, $2 million, and you don't want to pay $2 million. You could trade that draft choice to a team and get players in return, young minor league players who have already been signed and don't cost anything until they get to the big leagues. So there's a lot of reasons for it. I think it'll eventually happen.
And the Rangers have the 38 and 47 picks that we've talked about. They also have number 118 and number 147. Doug Melvin thinks that the Rangers could spend the same amount on those 4 picks as Arizona will spend on the 4th pick of the draft overall. Kansas City with all those picks. They have 6 of the first 58 picks. They're going to be spending a lot of money trying to sign those draft picks.
And Baltimore is too. Baltimore had the 18th, 21st, and 23rd pick. They picked 3 players within 6 picks. And that's going to cost them a ton of money too.
There's a strike to Zahn, 1-1. So basically for all the first rounders, it probably takes 7 figures to sign them all.
I think there might have been a few last year that signed for less than that, but that's just about just about what it's getting to now. Depends on the negotiating techniques and sometimes the leverage that a player has. High school player has more leverage than a college senior, for instance, who would have to wait till the next draft and be a year older before he was eligible again. High school players who are multi-sport players sometimes have a little bit more leverage because they don't have to play baseball. They can go play their other sport in college. It just depends on the individual.
1-2. Zahn grounds it to first. Leyes will do it himself, and the Rangers leave 2 in scoring position. They've left 5 on through 4 innings and trail by 2.
Just look at that steak. Welcome to the old San Francisco Steakhouse and the fabulous Barbary Coast. Come in and enjoy the fun, the twin pianos, and that famous girl on the red velvet swing. The most incredible, mouth-watering steak you've ever tasted. There's fresh fish, prime rib, succulent lobster, and shrimp. For great food, great fun, for a great escape. Come on over to the old San Francisco Steakhouse.
See you tonight! I'm sitting across from a person who's getting ready to write a large sum of money for an automobile, and I've purchased vehicles before, and I know exactly what they're going through. It can be nerve-wracking. The no hassle, no haggle price allows Saturn to be so much at ease with the customer and allows us to treat everyone so fair. It really doesn't matter whether you do a short-term lease, a long-term lease, short-term financing, long-term financing, or cash. Once you're in the Saturn family, you're in the Saturn family. I am going to see this person again. You see him at the supermarket, you see him in a restaurant, so we want to make sure they are completely comfortable with the entire process.
Yeah.
Come on, let me in.
Palmero, you're back. You remember the drill. Secret password.
Home run porch. Bricks in the ballpark. 839,996. Best color. Red. Stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
You're in. Texas Rangers, your friendly neighborhood team. For great seats, call now.
I really like what you guys have done with the clubhouse.
Can't miss Baseball Thursday. Big Mac and the Cards are ready for a fish fry. Mark McGuire looks to pound him out a pro player against the Marlins. Can't miss Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net.
La Quinta brings you the upcoming road games. And boy, there are a lot of them the next 6 weeks or so.
You're going to be hearing La Quinta a lot.
At the Diamondbacks Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then it's on to Dodger Stadium for a 3-game series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Next time you're on the road for business or pleasure, make it La Quinta Inns. Dial 1-800-NEW-ROOMS, NU Rooms, for reservations.
But all the time we spend at home in the next month, Bill's to come home to change clothes in our suitcases. Come home for 3 against Colorado, go back out, come home for 3 against Oakland, and go right back out.
And then we do it again.
3 for Seattle and go back out again 3 times. Wow.
3 different times leading up to the All-Star break. This is to left center in the gap. Holds up long enough for Rusty to get over, and Ray Sanchez is the first out of the 5th inning.
Well, that's incredible. You go right to the All-Star break, and the Rangers have 3 3-game homestands. That has to be a first.
3 3-game homestands. And here's a big-time problem I see as far as sending clothes to the cleaners.
A weekend.
2 of those 3 are on weekends, where we get back on a Friday morning early.
We'll probably have someone that owns a cleaners call us and say, we'll stay open for you guys.
Actually, okay, I see. We do have days off before those series, like Colorado next week. We get back on Thursday. So, I mean, that's what the one thing you have to do. You got to kind of map it out as far as taking clothes to the cleaners when you're just coming home for a couple of days like that. Johnny Damon is aboard as he gets the base hit. You get the cleaning done on the road, it costs you a whole lot of money in some of those cities like New York. Mike Sweeney is the hitter. Who was it in New York on our last trip in there in April?
Chris Lingus.
Yeah.
Something like a shirt, 2 pair of pants. One other minor thing for like $60.
Uh-huh.
Should have gone shopping, just thrown them away and bought some new ones.
Royals have a base runner on and 1 out here in the 5th inning and lead it 2-0 over Sealy and the Rangers right now. Rangers have a day off tomorrow, and then the series starts in Arizona on Friday. But after today's game, 26 of the next 35 games are on the road. And they're against some quality opposition as well. The Diamondbacks this weekend, they've been on a roll. They had their 7-game win streak snapped last night. They're in first place in the National League West now. In tight to Sweeney, 2-1. And then the Dodgers are over 500 right now. And of course, the Dodgers are ever hopeful with the money that they've spent that things are they're going to go on a roll. Rockies will be in here. And then an 8-game road trip to New York and Boston, the top 2 teams in the East. To left field, Rusty, as on the run was Johnny Damon. Now the throw back to first base. And Damon just gets back in.
Johnny Damon's lucky he's fast, because he was around second base when Rusty Greer caught the ball. And he scampered back, touched second base, and then sprinted back to first and got there. He was running on the play and didn't know where the ball was until he saw Rusty Greer catch it.
There's how far away he was.
That ball was hit to right field. He would have kept right on going. The only reason he knew where it was because it was right in front of him, and he heard the ball hit the glove. Saw Rusty catch it.
Damon back at first base with 2 outs, and Jermaine Dye, the hitter. Seeley is now at 83 pitches right now with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Damon has stolen 8 out of 10 bases this season. 8 stolen bases in 10 attempts. Dye grounded into a fielder's choice, and he singled in this game. 1-0 to the Royal right fielder. And the single by Dye was his first hit in this series. He was 0 for his first 8 in the series. On the run is Dye. The throw through by Zahn. And McLemore on a tag at second base as he comes up with it. And Damon is thrown out for the 3rd time in 99. Zahn doing the job behind the plate. 2-0. We are at the halfway point.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
I think you're beautiful. Gee, thanks. I was talking to the beer.
Sports Day, award-winning coverage that pulls you in. So many stats it borders on indulgence. It's quite compelling. Maybe too compelling. Pick up a copy today.
Silverado, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year. It's bigger, it's more powerful. It's the truck from Chevrolet.
Sears Memorial Day Tire Sale. It lasts all week with incredible deals for whatever you drive. Right now, Goodyear Weather Handler tires are an amazingly low 4 for $99. And save on other top brands like Michelin and Bridgestone. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
We talked about Johnny Damon rounding second base, and it's a rule that most people know, but it bears repeating. Once you go by the bag, when you go back to first base, you have to touch the base going back to first base. If you cut across and miss the bag, and the other team notices it, throws to second base and tags the bag, you will be out. So Johnny Damon knew that rule, And you would think every big league player knows that rule, but believe it or not, there are occasionally times when a runner will go past the bag and then retreat back to the previous base and not touch the base. You wouldn't think they'd ever do that, but occasionally you see it. Johnny Damon did it right that time.
And that is one of the keys, though. The other team has to be alert and notice it to appeal the play.
Right.
So if you're involved in a little league game, keep that in mind.
Yes.
And I have seen one of the girls' little league softball games where they've actually made a catch in the outfield. Safe at first base is Shea. Sanchez had to make a long throw.
Sanchez made a nice backhand stab at the one-hop line drive by John Shave, and then had plenty of time to get Shave. He did have a long throw. That's the tough part right there. Now comes the long throw, but plenty of time, and throws wide to first base, and that allows Shave to beat it. We'll see whether that goes as a hit or an error.
Sanchez, the shortstop, is charged with an error. So Shave is on. Rangers have their leadoff man on. Goodwin sends this one to center field. Going back is Beltran, and he makes the play. Goodwin had 2 hits in last night's game, 2 hits the night before. But he is 0 for 3 so far today. There's one down.
That's what we were talking about in last night's game with Tom Goodwin. He hit that ball well, but not being a power hitter, he doesn't drive the ball out of the ballpark very often. And even though he hit that ball well, it's an easy play for the outfielder in center field. That's why his game plan is to hit the ball on the ground or on a line, not in the air to the outfield.
Here's McLemore. Sanchez gets the throwing error here in the 5th inning, allowing Shave to get on base. You know, back in the '96 season with the Cubs, he made 90 starts at shortstop and only had 1 throwing error. Last year with San Francisco, just 8 errors for Sanchez in 109 games played. He's a good man with the glove and with the arm. One and 0 to McLemore. McLemore 0 for 2 in this one. And the Rangers have been shut down early in games of late. They waited until the late innings. In fact, in the last 4 games of this 8-game win streak, the Rangers have won the game in their final at bat. And this one has the same trend to it for Johnny Oates and team. They got them right where they want them. And 1 to McLemore. And the Rangers now leading the American League, winning games in the last at bat. 4 of them coming in the last 4 days. And then a couple of others have come of note here in the last 3 weeks. Of course, there was the Rusty Greer Grand Slam in Chicago back on May 11th. And there was the Gonzalez 3-run homer in Baltimore. So 6 of those 8 final at-bat wins have come here in the last 3 weeks. At least 6 of the 8. Here's the 2-1. And fouled off, 2 balls and 2 strikes. One other American League game going on this afternoon. They're just getting underway in Oakland, where the Athletics are taking on Tampa Bay. Tom Candiotti is on the mound for Oakland in that one, and Wilson Alvarez goes to the Devil Rays. The other 2 Western Division clubs, Seattle and Anaheim, are playing tonight. Seattle hosts Baltimore, and Anaheim plays at home against Minnesota. Last night, the Angels and the Athletics were both winners. On the run is Shave. The throw down is not in time. John Shave has the stolen base.
John got a great jump on Apier. He was gone. Not much of a chance for Spear to throw him out. Watch him. He is gone the minute Apier moves. In there easily.
So number 1 for John Shave, and he joins the ever-growing list of Rangers with stolen bases this season. It is incredible how many different Rangers have stolen bases. There's the walk to McLemore. The Rangers leading the American League with 52 stolen bases. And now 12 different Rangers have stolen bases this season. We've mentioned it's off to Arizona for the next road trip, and 8:30 on Saturday, Rangers and the Diamondbacks. That will be the Saturday night game in Phoenix with Ryan Glenn on the mound for Texas against Armando Reynoso for the Diamondbacks. Boy, Luis Gonzalez is playing tremendous baseball for the Diamondbacks. He has an 11-game hit streak on the heels of a 30-game hit streak. Luis Gonzalez had 4 hits in last night's game for Arizona. The Diamondbacks, as I mentioned, just had their 7-game win streak snapped. Tony Muser sends Mark Wiley, the pitching coach, out to talk to Apier.
Rather lengthy message for a veteran pitcher like Apier. No one warming up in the bullpen, so the purpose was not to let someone warm up.
Apier, the 31-year-old veteran. Facing Greer. Rangers with another opportunity against Apier here in the 5th with 1 out. And a strike to Greer. Greer walked in the 1st, and he lined to first his last time. Apier is at 66 pitches right now in this Texas heat and humidity. The temperature getting on up into the 90s today. It's supposed to reach the mid-90s this afternoon, so that can definitely have an effect on a pitcher throwing a lot of pitches this afternoon. His pitch count is not especially high right now, though. 1-1 to Greer. Shave getting the stolen base this inning. 12 Rangers with stolen bases. It includes guys you don't normally associate with some stolen bases, like Gonzalez and Stevens. Rusty has 1 stolen base. Greg Zahn has a stolen base. The only position player for the Rangers without a stolen base is Todd Zeile now. And the Rangers have been very successful. The Rangers did not steal a lot of bases last year, but as we showed in the graphic a moment ago, they lead the American League in steals this year with 52 out of 68. 3-1 to Greer. Dangerous part of the order up for Texas here in the 5th. Maybe they're going to try to do it a little earlier in this afternoon's game as Juan awaits his turn. And there's ball 4. The bases are loaded. Consecutive walks issued to McLemore and Greer.
Well, you'd mentioned earlier that Apier had only had 7 walks in 39 innings in the month of May. And here in 5 innings, less than 5 innings, he already has 5 walks today.
Let's take a look at the nation's rent leaderboard. Team batting average the last 10 days. The Seattle Mariners are tearing it up. 346. But the Rangers are second at 312. That's a pretty surprising that the Rangers are hitting .312 really over the last 10 days, considering the fact that over the last 5 games on this homestand, the most runs they've scored in a game is 6. Had a lot of low-scoring games. In fact, the last 4 games, the most runs they've scored is 4. Gonzalez with the bases loaded, a swing and a miss, 0-1. Apier with 5 walks this afternoon, including 2 here in the 5th inning. And Juan lays off that one. It's 1-1. Seven grand slams in the career for Juan Gonzalez. He has 46 RBIs right now. Here's the 1-1. And Gonzalez gets this one off of Randa. Sanchez fields it on the outfield grass. A run is in. The Rangers are on the board. Gonzalez with RBI 47 as Shave scores from third. The base is still loaded. Let's take a look at the pitches this time to Juan.
Apier gets him to swing at a slider, and then Juan takes a slider, 1-1. Then he hangs a slider, and Juan hits it pretty well off Randa's glove. That's why baseball is a game of inches. This is close to either being a double play or still the bases loaded, nobody out, and a run in. Kicks off Randa's glove. Rangers get a run, and still only 1 out.
First hit of the inning for the Rangers. There was an error to start the inning and 2 walks. And here's Palmeiro with the bases loaded. He has walked a couple of times. 2 of the 5 walks issued by Apier.
If Randa picks that ball and turns a double play, they're out of the inning. Goes off his glove. Rangers still have a great chance to add to their 1 run with Palmeiro up there.
And Palmeiro, right field corner. It is fair. McLemore scores. Here comes Rusty. Juan will put on the brakes at third. And Rafael Palmeiro gives the Rangers the lead. It's 3-2 Texas.
Now it really shows up the ball that Juan hit. The ball was hit hard. It's not exactly a double play ball. It did go for a base hit. But if Randa picks it and turns 2, they're out of the inning. Ahead 2-1. As it is, Raffy's double makes it 3-2 Texas.
Rangers get their 2nd consecutive hit. And it's the extra base hit for Palmeiro, his 10th of the season. RBIs 41 and 42. Still 2 in scoring position with 3 runs in, and Zeal is at the plate. Rangers decide to do it with some offense early, much earlier than the last 4 games. Zeal is 0 for 2. It's a ball and no strikes from Apier. Both walks have scored here in the inning. And the leadoff man, Shave, who got on an error, has scored as well. Grounded to Sanchez. He comes to the plate. The tag applied on Gonzalez for the out. Tim Spear with the play at the plate.
It's a nice play by Sanchez. Backhands the ball, strong throw home, and then a nice tag by Spear at the plate. And Sanchez has to catch it, plant, throw home, and then Spear blocks the plate and tags Gonzalez. That's good execution by Kansas City.
So that is the 2nd out here in the 5th. Runners at the corners now. Sanchez made that play. Charged with the error earlier in the inning, and here is Lee Stevens. Stevens doubled last inning off Apier. 1-0. Stevens is now 6 for 18 in his career against Kevin Appier. A .333 hitter against the Royals starter. And there's a strike, 1-1. Stevens faced Appier last year when Lee went on a medical rehab to Oklahoma, and Appier was rehabbing at Omaha, and Stevens hit a home run off Kevin Appier August of last year. It's a ball and a strike, and that is ripped foul. One and two to Stevens. Appier has had to throw a lot of pitches here in the 5th inning. Stevens is the 8th Ranger to hit in the inning. And this will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Appier. As he has now reached 80 pitches on the afternoon. Appier has one complete game this season. Went 6 innings in his last start against Anaheim. Was right at 100 pitches in that one. 2-2 to Stevens. Rangers have taken advantage of a couple of walks in the inning. Of course, late in last night's game, the Rangers took advantage of some wildness on the part of the Royals bullpen as there were a couple of hit batters and a walk to start the 8th inning. And the Rangers got 3 runs in that inning. Earlier on this homestand, the Rangers took advantage of some wildness when Rodriguez scored a game-winning run on a wild pitch. In fact, 2 straight wild pitches. 3-2 to Stevens. Scott Service, who pitched in last night's game, is up in the Royals bullpen now. He pitched a perfect 7th inning last night, in fact. Zeal taking his lead at first, not being held. And Palmeiro is over at third, and the 3-2 pitch. It is ball 4. 3 walks for Appier in the 5th. 6 in the game.
Just about equaled his May total in the walk department.
Now with 28 walks on the season, Kevin Appier. As the Rangers bat around and the bases are loaded again, this time for Greg Zahn. Zahn had an RBI opportunity last time, and he grounded to first with 2 on and 2 out in the 4th. Rangers left 5 men on base in the first 4 innings. 0-1 to Zahn. Zahn had a single in the 2nd. Now with the .250 batting average is Greg Zahn. Throw down, and Palmeiro is back in at third base. It's a ball and a strike to Zahn. Palmeiro, with a smile on his face at third, had the big 2-run double in the inning. Todd Zeal is at second base, and over at first is Stevens. Courtesy the 3rd walk of the inning for this guy Kevin Appier. And Appier will now step off the rubber. Rangers trying to widen the lead with Zahn at the plate. Appier has not lost a game in over a month now. Way back on April 27th, his last loss. The Rangers have him on the ropes a little bit here in the 5th. 1-2. Napier is a guy who has won a lot of games for the Royals in his time there, but he hasn't received a whole lot of run support either. 35 of his career 80 losses coming into this season. The Royals scored 1 or 0 runs. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 to Zahn. Well, this is a big opportunity for Greg Zahn, who is playing for the second time in 4 days. As Rodriguez got the afternoon off on Sunday, and Zahn had a couple of hits. And here a couple of days later, he gets the afternoon off today after a night game last night. Zahn trying to come through in the clutch. Rodriguez will have a day off tomorrow before he plays on a very regular basis the next week and a half. Right side, the backhand by Leyes. He bobbles. He can't come up with it. And here comes Zeal. The Rangers score 2. It's a 5-2 lead for Texas.
There goes an error on Leyes. And Kansas City's defense in this series has really let down the pitching. This whole inning started on an error by Ray Sanchez, a throwing error at shortstop. And it gets worse now. Little ground ball. Leyes has time, can't pick it up. Easy play for him. He boots it, and 2-run score for Texas.
Palmeiro and Zeal both come home. It's a 5-run 5th inning for Texas. And the 10th man to hit, John Shave, the man who led it off. There's a strike, 0-1. 2 costly errors for the Royals here in the 5th.
And another one that went as a hit and should have been a hit that Gonzalez hit fairly sharply. That might have been played by Joe Rand at third base. Would have been a nice play, but if he picks that ball and turns a double play, Apier's out of the inning with no runs.
That was on the ball that Gonzalez hit, and the next man, Palmeiro, got the 2-run double into the right field corner. Rangers with a 3-run lead. And still with a couple of men on. Shave to left field. It falls for a base hit. Narin is waving Stevens home. The throw by Johnny Damon is cut. And John Shave, a run-scoring single. It's a 6-run 5th inning. A happy Ranger dugout as 6 runs across the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that'll be it for Kevin Appier. As Shave, the 9th place hitter, comes through with a base hit to left field. Lee Stevens scoring from second base on it. So Apier's day is done. We've got a pitching change here on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
When your car's in the shop, you want a replacement that you can depend on. That's when it pays to call Hertz Local Edition. Well, we may be a local rent-a-car company, but we've got a big name to live up to. I pushed big too hard, didn't I? A little bit.
Hertz Local Edition prices are really low. This is our 3-day weekend special. Incredible, huh? There's only one catch. You have to give back the car.
When did you folks see the light?
On a trip to my sister's, I said, why waste money when we can stay at Motel 6, didn't I, hon? Now see what happens when you listen. It's like that fear he had of cauliflower wouldn't go near the produce section.
Call us and see the light for yourself. Seen the light?
Just flashed over me. Stay at Motel 6. Hey, I'm no fool. Saved big bucks and slept like a baby.
Yeah, like a big old snoring baby.
Local, long distance, international. On the road, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Well, that's the hardest thing about a road trip, is deciding where the best place is going to be for the conditions. Usually there's a little bit of argument about, oh, no, it'll be way better here. Or, no, trust me, this is the spot. It's always, no, is it going to be epic? Is it going to be huge? Is it going to be small and junky? After that, wheel into the Chevron, get the cooler loaded up with goodies, tank up with some Techron, and we're revved and ready to go.
For a great ride, use Chevron with Techron.
Oh, dude.
The Rangers on Fox Sports Net Southwest are brought to you by Hertz Rent-A-Car, by Aflac Insurance, by Chevron, and by UPS. Well, Kevin Napier doesn't get much help in the field here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He leaves. 6 runs have crossed for Texas, and the inning is not over. New pitcher in the game for Kansas City is the veteran right-hander Scott Service.
Service pitched an inning in last night's ball game, an effective inning. 1 inning, had a strikeout. Those are his numbers on the season.
The ERA is high. He has had some success against the Rangers the last couple of years, though, including last night. 1-1 to Goodwin. The 11th man to hit for the Rangers here in the 5th inning. Rangers helped along by a couple of errors and 3 walks here in the 5th. Goodwin on a line, soft liner to Scarsoni at second base, and that does it for Texas in the 5th. But the damage is done, and then some. 4-run lead for the Rangers.
I'd like to buy a tell your show.
Sure, we can help you out with that. That won't be necessary.
Buy a 99 Tiger Shark for no money down or get payments as low as $99 per month.
Are you looking for a good pickup line? The best used pickups money can buy are waiting for you right now at Cavender Toyota, including the 98 four-wheeler truck of the year. Choose from 8 Toyota Tacomas starting as low as $89.95, plus T100s and 4Runners, four-wheel drive, vans, and sport utilities too. Over 150 used vehicles to choose from. Come visit us at Bandera Road and Loop 410. Put one of your favorite pickup lines to use today. The best pickup lines, tried and true, and waiting for you only at Cavender Toyota.
The Showtime Networks. What are you in the mood for? Take a risk and escape it all with Showtime. Edgy, fearless, unpredictable. This is definitely not everyday TV. When you're craving a movie, the Movie Channel satisfies. With 100% pure movies, 100% pure fun. Whatever you're in the mood to watch, it's on the Showtime Networks.
Order Showtime the Movie Channel for only $15 more per month. Call Paragon 244-0500.
Hi, I'm Mark McLemore. Watch me and the Texas Rangers all season long on Fox Sports Net South.
Back to the ballpark, and another cameraman's son. Dave Curlis' son, Brian, on the left there, and his friend Joseph taking in some Ranger baseball on a Wednesday afternoon. And there's Dad. Dad is at work. In fact, Dad is working the camera for son and friend. Boy, that's the way to do it.
That's how he got him to come to the game today. Promised him they'd be on TV.
Well, here's Jermaine Dye in the 6th inning, and Aaron Seeley now working with a 4-run lead in pursuit of his 5th win of the season, trying to go over 500. 1-1 to Dye. He was at the plate when Johnny Damon was thrown out by Greg Zahn trying to steal second base in the 5th, which seemed like a long, long time ago. Because it was a long, long time ago. 6 Ranger runs, 2 Royal errors, 3 walks. Later. Two and 1 to Dye. Kevin Napier winds up going 4 2/3 innings in this game. 6 runs on 5 hits. Only 2 of those runs were earned because of the errors there in the 5th. He walked 6 and struck out 3. And Seeley starts off the 6th in fine form with a strikeout of Dye.
That's just what you want to see after your team scores 6, gives you a 4-run lead, come out, throw strikes. Gets Jermaine Dye with an outstanding curveball. Sharp breaking curveball right where you want to keep it, right on the outside corner.
And here is Joe Randa. The Royals in danger of losing 8 out of 9 on this road trip. Would fall 5 games under 500. It's 2-0 to Randa here. If the Rangers can hold this lead through the late innings, they would go to 12 games over 500. Rangers now are off to one of their best starts ever, thanks to this 8-game win streak they're on right now, 2-1. Chop to the right side. McLemore to his left, fields and throws. And 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Well, Aaron Seeley on the mound for the Rangers today, but you can join Rangers pitcher Aaron Seeley for Kidfish at Mark Holtz Lake at the ballpark on Saturday, June 12th from 9 a.m. until noon. Kids can learn to fish at this fun family event that benefits the Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation. For more information, call 817-572-9464. 817-572-9464. See, all the Southwest Sports Group employees can bring their kids out early on that day for Kidfish. You can even bring a net, I guess, to Kidfish. You would approve of nets at Kidfish, wouldn't you?
No.
You would not?
No, I think you got to go with a pole.
Takes the sport out of it.
If you want to teach a kid how to fish, you really have to go with a pole. And just like if you wanted to teach a kid how to play baseball, just, you know, the net just doesn't quite get it. It's a good way to accumulate baseballs.
He's back.
He's been out in the sun, getting a good suntan for TV. That's the net fan right there, not to be confused with net man.
Wonder if he takes a net fishing. Aaron Seeley, 1, 2, 3 in the 6th.
Need to keep your family cool this summer?
Well, get to Ford Summer Savings Days, your Ford dealer's official kickoff to summer. Put them in a new Ford Windstar and get 0.9 financing or $1,000 cash back. Or the best-selling Ford Explorer with 1.9 financing. Or drive the 5-star rated Ford Taurus for only $225 a month. Hey, it's Ford Summer Savings Days. Pack more action into your life. See your Ford dealer today. Home of the #1 selling cars and trucks in Texas.
Well, that's the hardest thing about a road trip, is deciding where the best place is going to be for the conditions. Usually there's a little bit of argument about, oh, no, it'll be way better here. Or, no, trust me, this is the spot. It's always, no, is it going to be epic? Is it going to be huge? Is it going to be small and junky? After that, wheel into the Chevron, get the cooler loaded up with goodies, tank up with some Techron, and we're revved and ready to go.
For a great ride, use Chevron with Techron.
Oh, dude.
Hey, beer mime. Coors Light. Are you scared? Nervous? Crowds make you nervous. Beer's cold. Because it's frost brewed. Okay, got it. You're climbing a ladder. No, you're climbing a mountain. Oh, yeah, because it's Born in the Rockies. And delivered by mimes. That's very funny. That's very funny. Just give me the beer. Check this out. Keep the change.
Tonight on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Time for the game summary. It's brought to you by Gatorade. Rangers and Royals on Fox Sports Net Southwest. Royals got 2 runs on 3 hits in the 4th. But the Rangers answer and how, with 6 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors in the 5th inning. Aaron Seeley now working with that lead. Retired the side in order in the 6th, and Scott Service now in the bottom of the 6th inning, facing Mark McLemore. 0-1. McLemore, Greer, and Gonzalez for Texas here in the 6th. One and one to McLemore. We mentioned the Ranger picks in today's draft, the top 2 picks anyway for Texas. And there are a lot of Texans taken in the 1st round. 1-2 to McLemore. Well, the Rangers now with 10 innings this season of 5 or more runs. Match the Mariners in that department. And the Indians off to an unreal offensive year. Well, the Mariners now have 106 home runs on the season. Well, the Mariners last night lost a wild one to Baltimore. 14-11 was the final score. McLemore with a high chop. Scarsoni to Leas. And there's one out here in the 6th. Well, Tom Aaron Seeley comes back with a 4-run lead and does what he needs to do with a 4-run lead, right?
He dropped in a beautiful curveball to get Jermaine Dye, and then a good fastball right on the outside corner. He made some good pitches in the 6th inning. Got 2 of his 3 strikeouts. 3 up, 3 down. Just exactly what you want to see with a big lead.
So strike to Rusty, 0-1. Mariners with that loss last night fell 5 games back at Texas in the West. Oakland continues to play very well. They are now 4 games over 500 at 28-24. And while the Rangers have won 8 in a row, the A's have won 7 of 8. So the Rangers haven't got much separation in the Western standings. Sanchez with a ground ball out there. 2 outs here in the 6th. And the Angels got a fine pitching performance last night out of Ken Hill. He came within 1 out of a shutout. 8 2/3 innings, 1 run on 5 hits. As Anaheim beat Minnesota late last night, 5-1. Kenny Rogers for Oakland last night won again at home. That's 15 in a row that Rogers has won at home, and he is pitching tremendously for Oakland, whether it's at home or on the road of late. 7 innings, 1 run. Well, people all season have been talking about Kevin Appier might be one who's traded. At the beginning of the season, they've talked about Kenny Rogers being on the trading block for the Oakland Athletics, but the way Oakland is playing and the way Rogers is pitching, there's no reason for Oakland to trade away Kenny Rogers at this juncture. This juncture especially. We'll see 2 months down the road when the trade deadline comes around the end of July if the A's are still in it, but they sure look like they're going to be in it.
Yeah, the way you have to look at it, if you've got a guy like Appier or a guy like Kenny Rogers, is even if you don't plan to have him next year, even if you can't afford him, the trade that you're offered has to be better than the draft choices you're going to get. The players always look better that you can get than draft choices do until you get the draft choices. And once a draft choice becomes a face in your farm system, you're very reluctant to trade someone who's a #1 or #2 draft choice.
Johnny Damon makes the play, and Service has a perfect 6th inning. Rangers lead by 4.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Had enough?
Let's go.
Anything you can be, I can be greater.
Ready to stop?
Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
No, you're not. I'm not stopping.
Yes, I
I'm not
am.
stopping.
I'm not stopping.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Zidane, FIFA's Player of the Year, World Cup hero, and the heart of Italy's Juventus. The world's greatest players, the world's top leagues. Fox Sports World. Call your cable or satellite provider.
Have you had it with those right-wing conservatives lining their pockets with your hard-earned cash? Are you tired of those tax and spend liberals who never solve anything? Then vote for Lou. He loves interleague play, but thinks the Diamondbacks are a confused bunch of losers, and that it's the Rangers' solid play that will lead them to victory this weekend. Vote for Lou. He's right down the middle. Lou is going to watch the Rangers play the Diamondbacks Saturday at 8:30. Shouldn't you?
This is Fox Sports Net Southwest.
The seventh inning is being brought to you by today's manufactured homes, the perfect choice for living for life. It is the seventh inning at the ballpark. Aaron Seeley's 99th pitch of the afternoon is fouled off by Steve Scarsone. Scarsone, Spear, and Beltran for the Royals here in the seventh. Seeley has given up 2 runs on 6 hits. With all the talk about the Ranger bullpen and how strong the bullpen has been, and in last night's game, Zimmerman and Wetland do the job again. And the talk also about the rally by the Rangers late in last night's game, sort of lost in the shuffle, was the performance of Rick Helling yesterday. And Helling had one of his better outings of the season, continuing a trend for him really since April. Helling went 7 innings last night, a run on 3 hits. When you look at the way the starters have come through during this win streak, it's really been something. There was Rick Helling, didn't get the win last night, but he certainly figured in the win. Ball and 2 strikes to Scarsone here. This one is hit to left center in the gap, and he goes all the way to the wall. This Scarsone is on a tear. He had the bloop RBI single in the 4th inning, and he comes through with a double here. That gets Boz on the phone to Larry Hardy in the bullpen.
Fastball down and away. Tom Goodwin playing over in right center field. Scarsone crossed him up by hitting it to left center field and all the way to the wall.
Here's Spear, the man in scoring position. No outs here in the 7th. Strike 0-1. Spear with 2 hits, a single, and an RBI double. Out of Waco Richfield High School. Makes his offseason home in Dallas, Tim Spear. One and 1 to the Royals catcher. Well, Ranger doctors were to check on Mike Morgan and Royce Clayton before game time, or right around game time today, and after the game, a report for Johnny Oates and Doug Melvin as far as their condition. The Rangers going into interleague play probably have some decisions to make. It appears Mike Morgan is a possibility going on the disabled list now. The Rangers were hopeful that he'd be able to make a start next Tuesday. He had an MRI and a bone scan on that irritated area in his right shin, and depending on what the doctors say about Morgan, Rangers will make a decision on whether the Mo Man goes on the disabled list or not. And then Royce Clayton as well. Johnny wants to make sure that Clayton is healthy enough to be able to play before this road trip starts, because particularly with interleague play, he's going to need his position players healthy because of the late inning switches that have to be made. Tim Crabtree and Mike Vinifro are now throwing in the Ranger bullpen. And depending on whether Clayton is really able to play or not, makes the decision on Morgan more complicated as well. If Morgan went on the disabled list, the Rangers would want to call up a pitcher, but they might have to call up a position player instead. Spear of the strikeout. There's one down in the 7th.
Good fastball. Spear was a little upset with himself. Aaron just threw that pitch by him. Good pitch.
And 3 of the last 4 outs have come on strikeouts now for Aaron Seeley. Seeley now with 59 innings pitched on the season and 54 strikeouts, as he has 4 strikeouts this afternoon. Hit to left. At the bat of Beltran, and Greer makes the play, and there are 2 outs in the 7th inning. So Seeley, after giving up the leadoff double to Scarsoni, retires the next 2 and now faces Ray Sanchez. Sanchez has struggled. Did get a hit in last night's game. 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's 2 for his last 32. And it's 1-0 to Sanchez. If Mike Morgan is healthy enough to pitch, he'd be going on Tuesday in Los Angeles. If not, it will be John Burkett making the start on Tuesday, Johnny said before the game today. 1-1. Ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The A's have taken the early lead on Tampa Bay out in Oakland as Tim Raines has a home run, 1-0. Rangers with a 3.5 game lead on Oakland as the day begins. And this afternoon in the National League, San Diego and the Cubs playing at Wrigley. A 5-5 game. They play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Back to the mound. And Seeley will run halfway there. Throw to Stevens. That does it. It's stretch time in Arlington. For an update on what's coming up tonight after the game on Fox Sports News, let's go to the Fox Network Center for a sports break.
This Fox Sports News sports break is brought to you by Original Coors.
I'm Kevin Frazier of Fox Sports News here with this sports break. The Knicks rallied from 17 points down, but Patrick Ewing missed a last-second jumper as the Pacers even up the Eastern Conference Final. And 2 third-period goals by Jamie Lagenbrunner helped the Stars force a Game 7 Friday night against the Avalanche. News, scores, and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News right here on Fox Sports Net.
Hey, beer mime. Coors Light. Are you scared? Nervous? Crowds make you nervous. Beer's cold. Because it's frost brewed. Okay, got it. You're climbing a ladder. No, you're climbing a mountain. Oh, yeah, because it's Born in the Rockies. And delivered by mimes. That's very funny. That's very funny. Just give me the beer. Check this out. Keep the change.
Hey, pal, when did you see the light?
I was working away from home. On my own dime, it's crazy to stay anywhere but Motel 6. I can take the extra money and invest it in something.
Yeah, like pizza.
Well, call us and see the light for yourself. Seen the light?
Just flashed over me. Stay at Motel 6. Hey, I'm no fool. Saved big bucks and slept like a baby.
Yeah, like a big old snoring baby.
Local, long distance, international. On the road, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. By Geico Direct Auto Insurance. And by General Motors. Back to the ballpark. Big Texans going some afternoon baseball along with his friends here in Arlington. 6-2. Texas leads Kansas City. I wonder if Texas going to Phoenix. Last time the Rangers played in Phoenix, he was there and had a front row seat right behind home plate. Al Mormon is the new pitcher for Kansas City.
Al Mormon's numbers on the season be his 13th game that he'll be playing in. 8 walks in 14 innings. Good job by Scott Service, pitched an inning and a third, 4 up, 4 down.
That was after a perfect inning in last night's game. It is Palmeiro leading things off against Mormon here in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Rangers have a 4-run lead. They were down 2-0 before scoring 6 in the bottom of the 5th. And Palmeiro sends this high in the air, down the line, in right. Back is Jermaine Dye with the leap, and it's out of here. Palmeiro finds the triangle down the line. Number 15 on the year.
Well, that's a place to hit it right down there. Raffy didn't get that ball very well, but he got it up in the air. He pulled it and found the little triangle just enough for a home run. Right to the right of the 349 sign. Jermaine Dye gave it a leap, but Raffy got enough of it. Hit it high, hanging curveball, so it's coming straight down. Dye goes over. Makes a good try, but it's too far back for him.
Well, Palmeiro's put together a nice afternoon. A couple of walks, a 2-run double, and now a solo homer to lead off the 7th. He now has 43 runs batted in. It's a 3 RBI day for Palmeiro. He had been struggling a little bit at the plate of late. It's a perfect afternoon so far. It's at 343. There's a 349 marker, went just to the right of that. Two and one to Zeal. Palmeiro was the May Player of the Month for the Rangers. He's off to a nice start in June now. 2-2. Well, he loves playing back here at home. His kids come to the ballpark with him every day. They're out before the game when the team is at home. Todd strikes out for the first out here in the 7th inning. There are the Hertz scores. Oakland now in the 3rd inning on the Rains home run, leading at 1-0. And in the 8th, the Padres and the Cubs are tied at 5. Well, the Cubs have played well of late. They are 6 games over 500, 27 and 21. Oh, 0-1 to Stevens. Mentioned there were several Texans taken in the first round of the draft today. Highest Texans selected, as we mentioned before, Josh Beckett, the right-handed pitcher out of Spring, Texas, going to the Florida Marlins. He's the phenom you've probably heard about, with an .039 earned run average in high school. 178 strikeouts in 89 innings pitched for Josh Beckett. 2-1 to Stevens. So Josh Girdley out of Jasper, a left-handed pitcher, went 6th overall to the Montreal Expos. Corbin Moreno is throwing for Kansas City now. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 to Stevens. Jason Jennings out of Mesquite and Baylor goes 16th overall to the Colorado Rockies. Jason Jennings, the grandson of James Jennings, the Cotton Bowl announcer and Mesquite rodeo man. James Jennings. Well, what a year Jason Jennings has put together at Baylor, both pitching and at the plate as well. Stevens the walk. A one-out base runner. Greg Zahn will be the hitter. And another local product in Big 12 player as well. Chance Capel, the right-handed pitcher out of South Lake Carroll and Texas A&M. The last pick of the first round. He goes to the St. Louis Cardinals. Chance Capel, who pitched a one-hitter for A&M in his last start last weekend in the regional tournament. Capel picked by the St. Louis Cardinals today. Two and 0. You look back at last year's draft, and there are a couple of pitchers that were first-round selections last year who have already made it to the major leagues. Jeff Weaver with the Detroit Tigers, and another Texas A&M guy like Chance Capel, Ryan Roop out of A&M last year. Now he was drafted last year in the 6th round by Tampa Bay and already in the big leagues. With a lot of players going to college and being selected, it seems like the first rounders are making it quicker to the major leagues these days. 3-1 to Zahn. And in case you joined us late, the Rangers had 2 right-handed pitchers they selected with their top 2 picks in the draft. Colby Lewis of Bakersfield College and David Mead out of Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, a high school pitcher. Sanchez fields it on one hop, and it is a double play. That'll do it for the Rangers in the 7th through 7. It's 7-2 as Palmeiro goes deep in the 7th inning.
I'd like to buy a Tiger Shark.
Sure, we can help you out with that.
That won't be necessary.
Buy a 99 Tiger Shark for no money down or get payments as low as $99 per month.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Your health plan can work better with Aflac. Supplemental insurance from Aflac helps cover the unexpected costs of recovery, so you can give your employees the protection they need and deserve.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Imagine if people could just order things online, and out they came. Into their homes. Into their offices. Well, maybe someday. But today, the best way to get stuff off the web is UPS. In fact, UPS delivers more e-business shipments than anyone else. So to ship from the virtual world, rely on the same people you rely on in the real world. UPS, moving at the speed of e-business.
Powerful heavyweights rumble in Vegas. Alex Stewart, 40 punishing KOs. Jorge Luis Gonzalez, 25 impressive knockouts. Sunday Night Fights at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
Back to the ballpark in Arlington. The Rangers have a 5-run lead over Kansas City, thanks in large measure to a 6-run 5th inning where they were helped along by a couple of errors and 3 walks issued by the Royals. New pitcher into the game for Texas is Tim Crabtree in the 8th.
Tim got his 4th win of the season on Monday night. He extended his consecutive scoreless streak to 14 innings. Hasn't given up a run in 16 straight appearances.
Well, Crabtree's really done a good job, as have the rest of those in the bullpen. The Rangers trying to hold a 5-run lead in the late innings this afternoon. Let's take a look at the General Motors key play of the game. We take you back to that 5th inning. Juan Gonzalez at the plate. It was a hot shot to third base that Randa was able to get a glove on, but unable to come up with it. Potentially, had Randa been able to field that ball cleanly, it could have been an inning-ending double play. But as it was a run-scoring single for Gonzalez. And then Palmeiro followed with a 2-run double. And the Rangers had the lead. And they had expanded it to a 5-run lead now. Johnny Damon leading things off against Crabtree here in the 8th inning. So there were 3 plays in that 5th inning that the Royals weren't able to come up with the plays in the field, and it really came back to haunt them. 1-1 to Damon. That one is a fair ball into the corner. Johnny Damon to second base. He has a leadoff double. Second straight inning, the Royals have come up with a leadoff double.
Johnny Damon's got a quick bat. You mentioned he's kind of a slashing line drive type hitter. Tough to get the ball in on him.
So he's in scoring position. Crabtree trying to keep that consecutive game scoreless streak intact. And the leadoff man is in scoring position here. Mike Sweeney, the hitter. You look at Rangers starting pitchers here over the last 4 games. Seeley goes 7 innings, 2 runs on 7 hits, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts in this game. Rick Helling last night, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. Ryan Glenn the night before, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits. And Mark Clark the start before that, 7 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits. 4 in a row. Terrific for the Rangers starters. Combined 27 innings for those 4 Rangers starters in their last 4 starts. 27 innings, 20 hits, 8 runs, a .267 earned run average for the Rangers starters in the last 4 games now. One and one to Sweeney. Ball and 2 strikes. Ranger bullpen won each of the last 4 games of this winning streak, marking the first time that the relievers have recorded victories in 4 straight wins since 1986, when Mitch Williams, Jeff Russell, and Greg Harris twice won consecutive games. And the line in right, Gonzalez is over, looking up, and that ball is high off the wall. He comes up with it quickly. Johnny Damon is into third base. So he had to hold up there. Sweeney is at second. So Sweeney gets a double, but Damon only goes 1 base on it.
I wasn't watching Damon. He must have gone back to tag up. Although the ball did come back very quickly to Juan. 5 runs down. You don't want to take any chances with nobody out. And he couldn't really take off. He had to at least wait halfway or so, waiting to see whether Juan could get to the ball to catch it. And then as quickly as it came to Juan hit the cutoff man. Damon would have been stretching it, trying to score.
Friday's Front Row Sports Grill is open year-round for your dining and viewing pleasure. Friday's Front Row Sports Grill right there here at the ballpark in Arlington, in the home run porch. It's the only place to be before, during, and after the game. Yeah, I didn't see Damon either. He must have gone back to second base to tag. And we get a nod of agreement from Ben Yurko that indeed that is what happened. It is a dry Ben Yurko. Brad got the Diet Coke spilled on him last night. For brother Ben, so far so good. There you see Damon going into third. Here's Jermaine Dye. For Crabtree with this scoreless streak, he is living right with consecutive doubles, and it doesn't produce a run. But he's in a jam here with runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the 8th. In a test of the late game Bosman visit to the mound. This one's hit to fairly deep right field. Gonzalez will throw towards third, and the consecutive scoreless streak is over for Tim Crabtree as it's a sacrifice fly for Jermaine Dye. The lead is cut to 7-3 as both runners move up. Damon scores from third, and Dye gets his 34th RBI of the season. One down here in the 8th. Jeff Zimmerman, who worked last night an inning, and Mike Vinifro. The two rookies are up in the bullpen now. Here's Joe Randa. Randa past a diving Zeal. Brings home the second run, and the lead is down to 3. It's 7-4 Texas.
Crabtree got the fastball in on his fist, but Randa was able to muscle it in the hole into left field for a soft ground ball single.
So Randa's on at first. You see, that's just beyond the reach of Zeal at third base. So the Royals come through with a couple of runs off the Ranger bullpen here in the 8th inning. What was a 5-run lead is down to 3. A swing and a miss by Leas. Tim Crabtree had gone 16 consecutive appearances, a club record, without giving up a run, and has given up 2 here in the 8th inning. 1-1 to Leas. And during the course of this 8-game winning streak, the bullpen has an earned run average of 0.35. 1 earned run in 25 2/3 innings. McLemore flips to Shea for 1. On to first, the double play. Rangers do it with defense to get out of the 8th inning. 2-run score. It's a 3-run lead.
Today, La Quinta inked veteran traveler Mark Mintle to a 1-year deal. Earlier, we caught up with Mintle's agent.
Bobby! My client travels over 200 days a year. He wants to stay at one chain to get a sense of permanence within his topsy-turvy world. He's very impressed with the facilities here at La Quinta.
What sealed the deal for you?
I negotiated a free breakfast for him every morning.
Everyone at La Quinta already gets a free breakfast?
You know what? This interview's over. Get out of here.
More stuff for less money. Another reason I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
We all do dumb things. Fortunately, paying too much for car insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
'd like to buy a Tiger shirt.
Sure, we can help you out with that.
That won't be necessary.
Buy a 99 Tiger Shark for no money down or get payments as low as $99 per month.
Texas leads Kansas City on a Wednesday matinee performance in the Dallas Morning News Sports Day front page headline, Royal Flush. It was a 6-run 5th inning. Gonzalez with the smash to the left side that produced 1 run. Greg Zahn with a grounder to first, the 2nd error of the inning for the Royals. Plates another run. In fact, 2 scored on that one. Dallas Morning News Sports Day front page headline as we get to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers trying to hold on to a 3-run lead now. That was the big inning in the 5th as Kansas City had 2 errors in the inning. Kevin Apier in danger of falling to 6-3 on the season. Aaron Seeley trying to go to 5-4. If the Ranger bullpen can hold this lead late.
Orber Marino was called up to the big leagues on May 25th when Jeff King retired. He was pitching great baseball down in AAA in the Pacific Coast League. He was 3-1 with 4 saves. His ERA was .210. 30 strikeouts in 25 innings and had a 19-inning scoreless streak. Now, he's a young kid, only 21 or 22 years old, with a good arm. Got the call up just a little while ago and getting a chance to test his stuff in the big leagues.
Moreno facing John Shave here in the bottom of the 8th. Shave, Goodwin, and McLemore for Texas. And a swing and a miss by Shave, 0-1.
Moreno from Venezuela. Sometimes with the facial hair, the 21 or 22-year-old kids look a little bit older, but he has the face of a high school kid. No doubt that he's a youngster.
In fact, he just turned 22 on April 27th.
I knew it was close. I couldn't decide whether he was 21 or 22. But you can tell he's young. He's trying to, looks like he's trying to grow that mustache goatee look that the rest of the Royal pitchers have.
You ever have a goatee?
No, I never tried it. Looked bad enough without it.
Me neither. For the same reason.
I don't know if I could grow one.
You can try in the off season. I'll go several days in the off season without shaving, and then my wife quickly says, hurry up and shave.
I've been known to do that too. Well, Moreno showing the stuff that got him that 19-inning scoreless streak at AAA. He tuned the fastball up at 94, and the slider right on the outside corner got the strikeout of John Shave.
And now Tom Goodwin, the hitter. This one's hit to center field. It's like the last one, 2 at-bats ago for Goodwin. And there is the second out here in the 8th inning. Coming up on Sunday Night Fights from Las Vegas, a heavyweight bout between Jorge Luis Gonzalez and Alex Stewart, headlining a great evening of boxing. Sunday Night Fights from Las Vegas, Nevada, Sunday at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports Net Southwest. Two outs in the 8th. McLemore is at the plate. One and 0. McLemore is 0 for 3. He had one of those walks that Apier gave up in the 5th inning. Came around and scored. 1 and 1. John Wetland. This is now a save situation after the Royals scored 2 in the top of the 8th inning, and Wetland has 17 saves. Boy, he has been used a lot during the course of this winning streak for Texas.
Marino last year in Wilmington, before he got called up to AA, had pitched 33 innings, gave up 8 hits, and had 50 strikeouts. 0.82 earned run average. Those are better numbers than Jeff Zimmerman.
They are.
Amazing. 8 hits in 33 innings.
Zimmerman has 14 hits in 35 innings, but it's at the big league level, of course.
That's a little bit different than A-ball.
Third baseman Randa takes charge, and that does it for the Rangers in the 8th. We go to the 9th. It will be Wetland time when we come back with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Kansas City.
Just look at that steak. Welcome to the old San Francisco Steakhouse on the fabulous Barbary Coast. Come in and enjoy the fun, the twin pianos, and that famous girl on the red velvet swing. The most incredible, mouth-watering steak you've ever tasted. There's fresh fish, prime rib, succulent lobster, and shrimp. For great food, great fun, for a great escape. Come on over to the old San Francisco Steakhouse.
See you tonight! Sears Memorial Day Tire Sale. It lasts all week with incredible deals for whatever you drive. Right now, Goodyear Weather Handler tires are an amazingly low 4 for $99. And save on other top brands like Michelin and Bridgestone. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
To you, it's a hot dog, but to the Texas Girls Choir, it's semester fees and a choir tour in a foreign land.
To you, it's a plate of nachos, but to Boy Scout Troop 270, it's new uniforms and camping supplies.
The Texas Rangers and our concessionaire sports service have developed a program to help put dollars back in the community. Volunteers work the concessions at the ballpark in Arlington to earn money for their favorite charities.
To get information about how your group can participate, call 817-795-8838.
Only Fox Sports News gives you expert analysis from superstars like Steve Sachs, Marcus Johnson, Phil Esposito. We have a veteran analyst for every sport.
For more on the men's luge doubles, we welcome in our analyst Tor. Guys.
Fallen through upplevelse.
Ja, det hoppar på min vänstra fot.
Får en fina kukul.
Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Net Southwest has been brought to you by Coors Light, which reminds you the three most important words are, "Hey, beer man." Ninth inning in Arlington. Rangers trying to come up with their 9th consecutive win. And the new pitcher, yes, it's Wetland time once again in the 9th with a 3-run lead, a save situation for Wetland.
He got his 17th save last night. 11 consecutive conversions for John. No one else has more than 15 in the big leagues. That's Roberto Hernandez and Robbie Nen. John has a chance to make it number 18 today. He's 17 out of 18 in 1999 and 33 out of his last 34 if you go back to last season.
Wetland only had to throw 5 pitches in the 9th inning last night, retiring the side in order. Second time he has appeared in the series against Kansas City, and he gets ahead of Scarsoni 0-2. Last night he was facing Randa, Damon, and Sweeney, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. This afternoon it's the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Kansas City. Scarsoni has a double and a bloop RBI single. Back to the mound. And on 3 pitches, there's 1 out in the 9th.
John really has been sharp. He's given up some home runs when he could afford to do it with leads. But when he's needed to make pitches, they've been there. And his breaking stuff has been exceptional. That last slider was right where he wanted it, on the outside corner to Scarsoni. Little ground ball back to the mound. He's had a curveball, a slider, some changeups. All of the pitches are working well for him the last 5 or 6 times out.
A first pitch strike to the pinch hitter Scott Pose. This is the 6th time in 9 games that Wetland has worked. So throughout this winning streak, he is appearing for the 6th time. And really, when you go back to that appearance in Tampa 1 week ago, when he came into the 8th inning and struck out Wade Boggs with the bases loaded, he has really been untouchable throughout this streak. So this is the 6th time in a week that Wetland has worked, starting with last Wednesday, 1 week ago today. He worked in all 3 games in the series against Minnesota, the last game of the series against Tampa, and he worked last night's game. The only game he missed during that stretch was the first game of this series against Kansas City. Two and 2. Looked pretty good from other vantage points, but he doesn't get the call from Dale Scott. Here's the 2-2. Pose fouls it off. Rangers have a day off tomorrow, and then series starts in Phoenix on Friday night. Mark Clark will be on the mound for Texas against Randy Johnson for the Diamondbacks. And Randy Johnson is having a terrific start to this year. His first couple of months with Arizona. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 outs in the 9th.
A little extra on that fastball, 93 miles an hour. Pose is a contact hitter. A little bit like Wade Boggs with that swing, but John threw it right by him, just like he did Wade Boggs.
Wetland during this winning streak now has gone 6 innings and has 9 strikeouts in those 6 innings. 0-1 to Beltran. Crowd this afternoon of 32,598. As Wetland tries to nail down save number 18. Fouled back. He's a strike away. The longest winning streak in Ranger Club history, 14 in a row. This would be the second longest streak in Ranger history. 9 consecutive wins. 4 other times they've won 8 in a row, including this time. Now they can go beyond that barrier to number 9 in a row. A grounder to McLemore. He gobbles it up, and the Rangers win again. 9 in a row. Second longest winning streak in club history, and John Wetland has his 18th save. Wetland with 1 win and 5 saves in this 9-game win streak. And the Ranger bullpen comes through again, 7-4, as Aaron Seeley wins it this afternoon for Texas. And we'll be back to the ballpark in Arlington in just a moment on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
First, there was Chevy Suburban. Then came Lincoln, Lexus, Mercedes, and the others. And in the end, the one that started it all is still the one that tows the most, holds the most, and does the most. Chevy Suburban, like a rock.
Even the best computer can't live up to its potential without equally good internet service. Call 1-800-FLASH-20 now and upgrade to FlashNet. You'll get unlimited access to FlashNet's fast, reliable, nationwide network, a 56K modem, and 2 email accounts, free, all for $149.95 a year. That's less than $12.50 a month. So whether your computer's new or comfortably broken in, call FlashNet, where you may not be getting the whole picture.
Celebrating their expansion victory, excited fans watched as mascot Coco the Palm cut the ceremonial ribbon to open the brand new La Quinta Inn and Suites.
I'd just like to say this is the realization of a lot of people's dreams. This is a great town. We're proud to be a part of it. We're going to make a lot of very weary travelers happy. Coco!
Apparently, we've just learned that Coco has resigned under pressure from management with a tragedy, but at least I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
At Geico, we settle claims quickly so you can get your car back, because no one likes to bum a ride to work. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Paying too much for car insurance isn't any smarter. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's a 9-game winning streak for the Texas Rangers as Texas comes away with a 7-4 win over Kansas City this afternoon. The final number is 7 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Texas. 4 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Kansas City. Aaron Seeley improves his record to 5-4, and John Wetland now with a major league leading 18 saves on the season. Kevin Apier takes the loss and falls to 6-3. Rafael Palmeiro not only had his 15th home run of the year, he also had a 2-run double. Palmeiro now with 15 homers and 43 runs batted in on the season as Texas improves to 12 games over 500.
It was a good outing for Aaron Seeley, his 2nd solid outing in a row. That's nice to see from the starting pitching, and a big game for Rafi Palmeiro. He had the big 2-run double in the 5th inning when the Rangers scored 6 times and kept the streak alive.
It's a perfect 6-0 homestand for Texas, and we're back with more from Arlington in just a moment on Fox Sports Net Southwest.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Morning. Good morning. Hi, Jimmy.
We love this neighborhood. It's the best place we've ever lived.
We love our new home.
After looking at all our options, we chose a manufactured home.
It's very affordable.
Now, these homes were built to high-quality standards set by the federal government.
My standards, too.
And about half the cost per square foot of a site-built home.
Savings I can enjoy.
Just perfect.
Manufactured homes for living, for life. Call 1-888-3-HOME-10.
I work at Hertz, local edition here in town. When you need a car right away, I'll come and get you. Jones at 26 Western. Hertz, local edition. To the rescue.
Hertz Local Edition is growing, so we're listing our neighborhood locations where you can rent a reliable car for a local rate. If we don't have one in your neighborhood, call us. Maybe we'll put one there.
Who makes the finest tools in the lawn care business? Echo, of course. Make spring cleanup chores easy with Echo's full chainsaw line. Make quick work of tilling beds and gardens with the easy starting cultivator. For the professional look, use the top-rated Echo blower line or use the shred and vac for easy disposal. Echo. Now you can use the same tools the pros use. Available at
Yeah, there's a pecking order in cars. You know, you have your big luxury cars, and then you have your fancy sports cars, and then you have your fancy sports luxury cars, and then you have your sport utility vehicles, and then you got me. I'm okay with it. I still get Chevron with Techron.
Every car deserves Chevron with Techron.
I got four wheels just like the rest of them.
I'd like to buy a tire shot.
Sure, we can help you out with that.
That won't be necessary.
Buy a 99 Tiger Shark for no money down or get payments as low as $99 per month.
Well, the Rangers have not only won 9 in a row, they're 12 games over 500 at 32-20 on the season after defeating the Kansas City Royals and sweeping their third straight 3-game series. Only the second time in club history the Rangers have swept 3 straight 3-game series. For Tom Grieve, John Radigan, and our entire crew, this is Bill Jones saying good afternoon from Arlington. Once again, our final score, Texas 7 and Kansas City 4. Our next Rangers telecast comes your way Friday at 9 on KXTX in Dallas when the Rangers begin interleague play against Randy Johnson and the Arizona Diamondbacks in Phoenix. Our next Fox Sports Net Southwest Rangers telecast 9 o'clock Saturday, also against those Diamondbacks. You've been watching Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Net Southwest, your home of Fox Sports Net.